This video is brought to you by Thinkific. One of the fastest and most impactful ways to get your knowledge out into the world, make more money, and make a bigger impact is to take that knowledge that's lying dormant in your brain and turn it into a high impact, high income online course. Here at Think Media, we are a team of successful course creators generating multiple seven figures in online courses and helping people just like you create a successful online business. I get it. It can be so overwhelming when it comes to starting your online course. But in this free tutorial, I'm going to take you step by step on how to get started and get your course out to the world. In this free tutorial, I'm walking you through how to create your course content, how to film and edit your videos to make it fast and easy, where you should be hosting your online course so you and your students get the best experience, and how to market your online course. So grab a notebook, grab your pen, and let's jump into this episode of the YouTube Made Simple Show.
En tus visiones, saben qué es lo que fui. No me levanto de la cama. Por las noches la policía sigue mis sueños.
Looking for the train station. Two blocks up and then you turn right. No, I don't think so. Hold on a second.
Right away. We're into it. So that's a yes for Saturday or a no?
All right, don't play.
Sure will. Glad to have you back. Love you.
Dance, all in a trance, all over around the world. 'Cause I want to. One time for the girls that's marching forward. Two times for the boys that's walking forward. Three times for the ones who what they want to. Each time when I'm undo what I want to. All the things I want, no need to hide from. No need to hide from. Set my soul on fire from. All the things I want, I'm willing to die for.
Alrighty, let's jump into tip number one to get you started on your online course. We want to start with picking your content and topic ideas. I have a couple questions for you because this is where people start and get overwhelmed at the very beginning. What should you even make your course about? And this is the opportunity for you to get a blank piece of paper out, a pencil, and we're just going to start writing things on it. So here's some questions for you. What skills and talents and life experience do you have, and what audience needs what you have. Those are two key things. It's what you want to teach, but it's also what audience is there to view it. Write out some things. Maybe you are a master gardener. You've been growing a garden for the last 20 years, and you want to package that knowledge and help beginners, newbies, on their journey to understanding how to start a successful garden. Now, what would you teach in that? What type of topics would you want to talk about that? If you go more the scientific route and you want to do more into the soil and those types of things, or do you want to do something like how to make it in a kit? There's so many ways you can go about this, but this is the opportunity for you to just grab the piece of paper and just start writing. Just start to expand on some topics. I think about one of the courses that I want to create. It's all about homeschooling. I'm a homeschooling mom, and so I want to teach other homeschool moms. And in this course content tip, I want you to think about the life experience that you have, the skills that you have, and also identifying the audience that you want to reach with this course. If you try and reach everyone, you will end up reaching no one. So you have to be clear. Is it someone that's a beginner? Are they intermediate? Are they in a life transition? Write about this person so that you can start to identify who your course is for. Now, you may be thinking, yeah, but I'm not an expert at anything. Maybe if you're like me, where you kind of are a jack of all trades, right? Well, you don't actually need to be an expert. I know it sounds crazy, but you don't have to be an expert to create a course. All you're doing is packaging your knowledge in a step-by-step sequence to help someone on a journey. You're going to help them get from point A to point Z. So if you've experienced it, if you've got the receipts to prove it, then you can teach it. So you don't have to be an expert. You can be a guide. You could be a leader. You could be a friend that's just a little bit more on the journey than someone else. So let's debunk the idea that you have to be an expert in order to create an online course. Now, the next step that we're going to go to is we're actually going to go out and do some market research. It's time to start investigating. Now, this is my warning. This is not a time for you to compare yourself to someone else. All we're going to do right now is just investigate what are other course creators doing on this topic. How much are they charging? How many students are enrolled in their courses? We want to start investigating what is out there in the market. Are people actually even interested in what you want to produce? This is a critical time before we even start recording, before we even go through mapping out these modules. We want to really investigate, are people interested in what you are about to sell? Now, I recommend going and searching for 2 to 5 other course creators to see what is the competition offering. A lot of times in course creation, people will give you kind of an outline of what they would be teaching in their content. Go in and see what can you actually fill the gap with. What skills do you have, life experience that you have that could help you stand out from the competition? Now, your job is to figure out, will someone actually pay for the content that you are producing? And a great way to figure this out is to actually start to pre-sell your course before you create it. Now, here's how you do this. If you are building an email list, if you are currently a content creator, if you are a podcaster, or you already have an audience of some size, you can actually pre-sell the course that you want to create. You can create a very simple landing page with Thinkific, and they can help you actually pre-sell your course before it's created. Now, here's what's great about this. You can do a limited time run. You can do a discount. You can offer only a certain amount of people inside of your course during that pre-sale, and all they're doing is they are getting on the wait list for the release of your course. This will help you actually understand what people need and what they want. This gives you an opportunity to survey them and see where their struggles are and be able to create exactly what they need for the course that you want to create. Now, if you want more details about how to pre-sell your course, I will link down in the description below an amazing blog post that Thinkific did that walks you step by step through the process of a pre-sale. Now, tip number 3 is to create your outcomes for success. We are not to actually creating the course yet. We actually want to identify, what does winning look like for your students? This is huge, and where a lot of course creators go wrong. They just start creating things, but they don't actually figure out, what does winning look like? Here's the thing. People buy solutions. So you've got to identify, what are the 1 to 3 solutions that your course is going to solve. A great way to identify this is to write the sentence out. By the end of this course, you will fill in the blank. What are they achieving? What is the outcome that you're going to promise them as someone who is going to be a part of this course? It is so critical that you can identify what winning looks like for them so that you can win as a course creator. The next step in the process is to outline your course. This is my favorite part because we're going to take those 3 outcomes that you identified, we're going to put them on some sticky notes, and we're going to go to town. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to identify the steps in the process that it takes to get to that outcome. So if the outcome is, as a homeschooler, like I want to create, to understand the type of homeschool you want to have, right? To identify how to have a peaceful homeschool. That's what the outcome I want them to have. Now, the steps to actually do that are about figuring out the rhythms and the schedule for your students, for your kids. So that would be the steps. I would walk through the different steps of how to actually make that possible. So what steps do your students need in order to achieve those outcomes for the goals that you have identified? Now, if you want to go deeper into this process, if you're getting stuck or you just want to actually have an outline or a template to help you go through the outlining of your course process, Thinkific has a phenomenal download that I'll link down below and a blog post to help you walk through the steps of actually outlining a successful course. Now that you know the outcomes and you have a general outline to your course, it's time to structure these into modules. You're going to start to group similar themes and tips and ideas into consumable modules. These are the actual segments of your course, and inside of those, you're going to have different videos that will help them progress through the course. So maybe your first module is a big idea. I'm going to break that into 3 different videos. We're going to just start to put those sticky notes in place to be able to make this outline into a consumable structure. A great way to achieve this is to storyboard your course. What does the journey look like from start to finish, from A to Z when it comes to the online course that you're creating? I've linked down below a resource from Thinkific to walk you through how to storyboard with their download. Now, I know that you want to over deliver on the course content that you're creating, but did you know that there is a science behind how long your videos should be and how to progressively take students through your online course? Well, I'm going to link below a great resource that I read through on the Thinkific blog that walked me through even a deeper knowledge of how I should be structuring my course. All right, we're getting closer and closer to your course being done. And next is actually determining how do you want to deliver your course? What are the different learning styles you want to incorporate? Are you going to be doing video lessons, slideshows, or maybe you're recording yourself talking on stage, or maybe you want to do a sit-down video just like this? Are you wanting to do audio downloads? Do you want to have opportunities for your students to download maybe ongoing learning and training, or to be able to separate the video and the audio content? This is a great way if you have a course where people can learn on the go, is to have the option for audio downloads. And speaking of downloads, everyone loves a good action guide, template, or a checklist, so make sure you are including that inside of your course. And lastly, you want to consider what is the community aspect of your course. One thing I love about the Thinkific platform is they have so many ways for you to actually design a community within your course. There are membership opportunities and ways that you can have your students connecting with each other, holding each other accountable, or asking for feedback on the things that they are creating. Now, if you don't want to do any type of community, that is okay, but you want to just make sure that you're thinking about what does this look like for people who are signing up. And finally, you want to decide the length of your course. Now, here's the thing. The longer the course doesn't mean the better the course. You can create a phenomenal short course that can get massive value for your audience. It's about the outcomes, not about the length of time. A study was actually done by over 3,000 course creators on Thinkific, and it was determined that the length of the course was not in relation to the revenue generated from the course. This is great if you are short on time and you don't actually want your course to be 10 hours long. Maybe you want a course that's only 2 hours long or 3 hours long, but it's okay if you have enough content to fill 10 hours as long as the outcome is achieved. You want to be mindful though about who your course is for. Is it for busy moms who only have a few short minutes to be taking in the knowledge that you're providing? Maybe you're helping busy entrepreneurs, or maybe you're helping new students learn a skill. Knowing who your audience is and who your course is for will help you determine the length of time for the course that you're creating for them. I love this quote from Shalene Johnson. She says, "Be brief, be bright, be fun, and be done." One thing that people over the last decade have come to a consensus on is that they don't want fluff. They want the meat and potatoes of your course, so give them what they want. Now, it's okay if you want to add in a story or two or help to illustrate pieces of your course, but hear me, friend, you want to please your customer, and your customer is pleased when they can get to their outcome the fastest way possible. And now we get to the fun part of recording and editing your online course. Now, there's a couple ways you can go about this. If you decide to do just a voiceover and a slideshow, you can use different software like Google Slides, you can use PowerPoint, Canva, easy, simple ways that you can be creating slides and then just recording over them. You can do this on a computer if you have QuickTime, or you can use a simple software like StreamYard if you want to still have your face on screen and have a little bit more of a dynamic flow to your content. Now, if you are going to be recording a course just like this, a talking head course, and you're new to online creation of videos, we have so many resources for you, starting with how to film, edit, and upload with your phone, all the way to using a fancy camera and lighting just like this. So I'll make sure to link all of those resources down in the description for you. And here is a pro tip. You want to make sure that every time you are recording a video and you are putting it on your computer, that you are labeling that file and that you are keeping yourself organized along this entire journey. Please do not have your videos as video 1 or video 1-1. Actually label the videos to the title of that video, and it will help you throughout the process of recording, editing, and uploading your video on your course platform. Well, now that you have your videos ready to go, it is time to upload them to your course platform. And like I said, this video is brought to you in partnership with Thinkific, which is a phenomenal online course platform. Thinkific is an online course platform built to help you create, sell, and deliver your online course under your own brand. Over 50,000 course creators from 90 different countries are building their online education businesses using Thinkific. Thinkific gives you the tools to build and customize a premium learning experience that your students will love. You can process payments and automate an enrollment into your course without any hassle, and they can help you easily create a branded course website so you can confidently launch your online course. Entrepreneurs, small business owners, and organizations of many different sizes use Thinkific and offer free and paid online courses and memberships in tons of industries. They also have an app store to help you customize your course business even further. From celebrating your students' milestones with personal animations to showcasing real-time course purchases, the Thinkific App Store helps you bring your teaching vision to life. If you are interested in getting started with Thinkific, I will leave all of the information for the best pricing possible for you in the description box below. Now that we have your course uploaded to your course hosting site, it is time to create your sales page. Now, this is different than a web page because this sales page has one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to move your future students from viewing to buying. Thinkific makes it so easy for you to create this sales page where you have different ways that you can show your students what is inside and expected in the course. Now, winning sales pages that will convert future students students to current students have a few elements that are critical on the page. The first element is a compelling headline. You want to make sure that you are actually identifying what your course is about and the introduction of the problem, because again, we're going to tell them about the outcomes that this course will give them. On your sales page, you want to make sure you have highlights of the benefits and the solutions that they are going to get from your course. You can do bullet points of the different elements of the offer and any bonuses that you are deciding to package with this course. Adding testimonials will help with social proof and not just you saying your course is great, but other people saying your course is great. And don't worry, as you are growing this online course, you can get those testimonials and add them later to this page. Then you want to make sure you are including your credibility, a little bit about you and your bio on that, as well as FAQs, because believe me, people will have objections. So every single one of your FAQs should be addressing one of those objections. And next, of course, the price, and nice and big is the buy button. Now on any sales page, you want to have a risk reversal. This could be a 7-day money back guarantee, 15-day money back guarantee, or a 30-day money back guarantee. This is critical because you want people to be able to get in your course and know that there's no risk for them in the purchase. Okay, take a deep breath. I know that was a lot, but we still need to figure out how to market your course. I have a few tips for you here, and I want to know in the comment section below, are you starting an online course? And let me know what your course is about. All right, in marketing your course, we already covered a little bit about pre-selling. You can get the link down below if you'd like to go deeper into understanding that. But again, remember, you can offer discounts, you can offer just a certain amount of people that get access to it, but you want to be creating that wait list before the course is created. Now, it's time to market your course. And if you are on YouTube already, you already have an avenue to do this. This is through video creation, this is through email sending. There are so many ways that you can be marketing your course online. Now, like I said, if you are already creating YouTube videos, you can create those videos and then just give a call to action that says, if you want to go deeper in this type of content, I have an online course, and you can get that link down in the description. Now, what I love so much about using YouTube as the marketing platform is that YouTube will work for you while you snooze, meaning that once you create that video that leads to your online course, if you've done your job right, meaning that you've created a video that people are interested in, that people are searching for, and that people are finding solutions to their problems for, then you can actually take people off of YouTube and send them right over to your sales page. Now, depending on the price of your course, I recommend that you don't actually just sell right on YouTube. You want to offer something free before that. So a couple ways that you can market this is, if your course is under, say, $1,000, you can offer a free download, and then you can offer them the course. Now, if your course is over $1,000, I recommend actually doing a webinar. You want to give free value upfront before someone makes that purchase. I'll link down below different resources if you want to learn how to create a great webinar that can help you convert your course. And now you are ready to get started. I hope that this free tutorial has helped you on your course creating journey. And if you decide to join Thinkific as your course hosting platform, you'll get access to their free YouTube resource guide. This guide's going to help you walk through the first steps you should take to monetize your video content through your online course, and you'll learn how to uncover the value proposition and map out your content for your course to help lead to sales. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you'd like to check out another video in the YouTube Made Simple series, you can click or tap the screen right now. And if you have more questions about how to get started on that email list, then click or tap the screen right now for that next video. Thanks for watching.
So in this deep dive free class, I'm going to be breaking down a lot of things I've never revealed anywhere else in regards to online courses. And specifically, I'm going to be talking about how this is one of the best business models, specifically for YouTube content creators and social media creators. Of course, it applies to any kind of entrepreneur if you want to start a side business, but specifically if you teach something or a YouTube creator, you're going to definitely want to watch until the end of this class. Also going to be talking about how you can tap into a $2.3 billion per day industry and get a piece of that. The biggest mistakes that I've made doing this, so you can avoid the stress, the headaches, the lost money, and ultimately go further faster. And that's one of our missions and goals here at Think Media. And then ultimately, 3 secrets I've learned after generating millions of dollars in online course sales. So buckle your seatbelt. And new data just came out that the e-learning market is projected to hit $848 billion in the US by 2030. That's gnarly. So over the next few years, it's projected to be about 20% growth per year. This industry where people are doing online learning, digital learning, online courses is absolutely exploding. If you do the math on that, that'll be about $2.3 billion generated every day. The question is, how can you get a piece of that? And a lot of people wonder, how do people make 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures per year through an online business? How do content creators build big incomes, not just dependent on ad revenue or brand deals? And how do they actually create businesses that are sustainable? So you're not trying to just fulfill for a brand sponsorship and you're frustrated working with them, or trying to, get more views and CPMs and RPMs are up or down. What is a better way? What is the sustainable business model? Really, it's not views, it's not brand deals, it's not affiliate marketing. Smart content creators are creating and selling their own products, their own programs, and their own services. Now, all that other stuff is fine. And if you're here live, smash like. My name's Sean Cannell, rhymes with YouTube channel. And I'm super passionate about helping people figure out how to get views on YouTube and get monetized and start monetizing with affiliate marketing. But the truth is, smart content creators that actually build sustainable businesses eventually create their own products, their own programs, their own services. In fact, Business Insider, this article says creators are making big money teaching online courses. Here's how one made $1 million in sales. This was a San Francisco woman who was able to generate this. Another article revealed that this couple created a DIY RV course. Their name are Deborah and Barry Benton. They've been living in their RV since 2018, and they created a course called Fix It Yourself. They run a blog and a social media company called The Virtual Campground, and this course was hosted on Teachable. It had 8 lessons about how to care for your own vehicle, and they've generated over $22,000 according to the verified income from Business Insider. And so people are doing this in all kinds of topics and industries. No matter what your niche or your topic is, the question is, man, how could you package what you know into an online course that you sell? And throughout this class, I'm going to be breaking down a lot of tactics and strategies, but here's why specifically this is powerful for YouTube creators. 70% of viewers use YouTube to help them solve a problem. And so that means that people already come to YouTube with a mindset of wanting to get educated. Yes, many people come for entertainment, but there's a whole segment of people that come wanting to get educated. And I actually was at an event called Social Media Marketing World Speaking, and I believe it was the team from either Teachable or Thinkific, which are online course hosting platforms. And I was hanging out with the team, and they said, our most successful users of our hosting platform are YouTube creators, or they're business owners that have YouTube channels. Why? Because on YouTube, you can get to know people, you develop know, like, and trust. And then over time, they go, I want to go deeper, or I don't want just to wait for the next video or weed through the videos on YouTube. I want all the steps in all the right order in an online course. So YouTube creators specifically are some of the most successful online course creators. And that is because that's how the platform is positioned. And, ultimately though, how did I stumble on this? And, today we have a course that I believe it's been remade 4 times. We've actually probably created about 20 different online courses, but our signature course, Video Reiki Academy, is 5 years old, 6 years old. But ultimately, I discovered all of this the hard way. And the point of this class is that you get to cheat and get the easy way. I remember back when I was discovering this, I've been on YouTube, as many of you may know, since 2007. I started a channel for my small church an hour north of Seattle, Washington. I started video in 2003. And the big mistake I was making is I was focused on views. I was focused on just getting subscribers, things that we all want, but my focus was wrong. And this was me walking my 2 Chihuahuas in Irvine, California at an apartment complex called Los Olivos that my wife and I were living in at the time. I was actually a campus pastor, and we were kind of struggling because I was doing my side income. Ministry doesn't pay super well. And Irvine cost of living is horrendous. I'm in Vegas right now streaming. Irvine, California is about 70% higher cost of living than right here. So I'm trying to figure out actually how to make money on the side, because just on my salary from the church, we were actually hemorrhaging money every single month out of our savings. So I'm hustling, and this was my home office in our 1,000 square foot apartment. Pretty big, all things considered, for Irvine, but let me know what you think in terms of 1,000 square feet. Is that big or small? And so here's my home office. I'm out here hustling, and I'm posting YouTube videos with my extra time. I was earning $100 per month on YouTube ads roughly at the time, which is cool. This goes back to let's do this. Let's get some views. That was 31,000 views, though. That generated $107.02. This is back, you can see, from December 1st, 2014 to January 1st, 2015. And so pretty cool to start earning side income online. Problem is, as many of you know, $100 per month is not going to help you really pay your rent in a significant way. I want to say our rent was $2,350. I definitely remember we should have picked a different apartment complex because each dog cost like an extra $150 a month or something. So talk about expensive animals, but worth it, because aren't dogs amazing? And so then I was doing affiliate marketing as well. And I was earning between $280 to $400 per month affiliate marketing. And you can see these are the Amazon payments back in 06, 2014 to 10, 2014. So this is 2014. All right. So I'm posting Think Media videos. I'm actually a little bit distracted across multiple channels, and I'm bringing in $255 a month, $374 a month, a range of different income coming in right around $280 to $400 a month. So a great month is about $500. And a lower month, counting ad revenue, right, is around maybe $250 or $300. Really cool. And please subscribe. And we've got whole videos, and we're here to help you start your YouTube channel and get your first 1,000 subscribers and get monetized. But the point of a class like this is realizing that, again, this is a long and painful road. And sometimes the road is actually too long for most, meaning to ever reach that full-time point. Because if you're chipping away at dollar amounts like this, it can be very hard to actually create a sustainable business. Plus, those numbers can go up and down. And again, that was not enough to even come close to paying my rent in Irvine, California, but really probably almost anywhere, depending on where you live, right? And I know we have a global community, and I know it's all different, but here's the point. What shifted for me was I started to get educated, and I started to look for a better way in addition to building my influence with social media. I had become fixated on if I just get more followers, if I just get more views, if I just get more growth. But I was focused on the wrong things. And I actually discovered a podcast that started to shift my thinking. The podcast at the time has gone through a big evolution, but here's a screenshot of the old graphic from it. It's called Build Your Tribe. And yes, this was my actual iPod and my actual iPhone, I want to say 6. And you could see my cool Sony headphones. And I would go to the Los Olivos gym in the apartment complex and get on the treadmill and work out a little bit and get educated. I'm sure that's a lot like you. You listen to podcasts when you're walking the dog or working out or doing chores. So I discovered this podcast called Build Your Tribe, hosted by Chalene Johnson. And I started to learn about, hey, you need to actually build a real business. Hey, you need to actually create your own product. Hey, you actually need to build an email list. Hey, there's actually a better way. And if you focus on social media, you're focusing on step 15, and there's 14 steps before that you don't even have set up yet. And so I'm like on the treadmill in Los Olivos, Irvine, California, being like, my gosh. And I've been hustling on YouTube for years, expressing my passion, having fun sometimes it's a real grind, editing and shooting, having fun, expressing my passion, but also being like, man, this is a grind. And if I calculate out the math, this is going to take a while to get the ad revenue and the affiliates, to the next level. And so ultimately I started to discover that I was doing it the hard way. I was focused on YouTube ads and affiliate marketing. I left thousands of dollars on the table because of not doing what we're talking about in this class. And I was exhausted from overworking for the results that I was ultimately getting. So then I will never forget, because I discovered a better way to make significant income online that doesn't require being YouTube famous, which is one of our biggest passions here at Think Media. Because if you get famous one day, and many of our students do, then awesome. But I am most proud about our unknown success students who are maybe not famous, but they're wealthy, because they're making significant income online without huge followings or being recognized in the grocery store. And so I'll never forget when I launched my first online course, following what I had learned through Chalene Johnson's podcast and eventually her learning program called Marketing Impact Academy. I launched an online course, version 1.0, and it was janky. I mean, done is better than perfect. And I got more to tell you about that. But I did $6,410 in 1 hour. I signed up for a platform called Kajabi. There are many different platforms to host a course. And this is in 2016. You can see here on months. What is that? June 1st. And in the one day, you can see that there's little green. Over the following days, more money came in. But in one day and really 1 hour, I generated $6,410. Now,
never hide your Reese's eggs in a basket. I mean, come on. It's the first place they'll look.
At Loyola University, Chicago's Parkinson School of Health Sciences and Public Health, we believe health is a fundamental human right. We catalyze change to create better outcomes for all. We engage with communities to make a positive impact. We collaborate across disciplines to find solutions to complex problems. Join us as we reimagine the future of health today.
I generated $6,410. Now, I don't know where you are at financially, but this was a mind-expanding moment for me, right? I've waited tables at Red Robin for 10 years. I was a busser, I was a host, I was an expo, I was the bird wearing literally yellow tights in a giant red bird costume. True story, awkward. The throw distance, is that the right word, between the crotch and the shoulders was not long enough, so I had to arch my body. And literally, I'm surprised I was able to have kids today because of how this bird suit affected my anatomy. But ultimately, listen, I had worked for tips. I'd worked for getting paid every 2 weeks. This was more money than I had ever gotten on one paycheck. I want to say that maybe not more money than I ever made in a month, but definitely way more money than I ever made in an hour. And I knew how hard I was working on terms of all the YouTube videos and all the affiliate marketing. And so here's what I ended up following. The total month after launching an online course was $17,064 in 1 month. And I did a lot of things wrong. I was smart because I didn't try to reinvent the wheel. I followed a proven system, and I followed a proven mentor, and I followed somebody that had done it before, because that's always the smartest way to do it. But still, it was janky and not great, and still needed work to be done. Good enough to honor my customers. Let me make that point clear, that like you want to put something out that in entrepreneurship and startups, they would call the minimum viable product, the MVP, the minimum viable product, like good enough to go to market, but it's version 1.0 and you can refine it as you go. That's why our YouTube course today is like version 4 or 5.0, because we add to it, we rebuild it, but it was good enough to get the result and communicate the promised result of the course at the time. So I want to be clear, like you're not cutting corners, but there was 152 lessons I did not know yet when I launched this course. And I'm still shocked by like the results that it ultimately got. So here's the big idea. And then I got 3 secrets for you. And again, if you're finding this valuable and you'd like more on this, I would love to hear any questions you have about online courses. Plus, hit the like button if you find trainings like this that are valuable, that are a little bit deeper dive. So one of the best ways to earn a full-time living on YouTube is to create an online course based on your knowledge and experience. This is the big idea. And you can interplace full-time living for one of the best ways to diversify your income as a small business owner in case the world gets shut down again like it did during the pandemic, is to create an online course based on your knowledge and experience. One of the best ways to earn extra income, even if you have other income streams, is to create an online course based on your knowledge and experience. One of the best ways to double your income, if you're doing great with ads and affiliates and brand deals, is to create an online course based on your knowledge and experience. Secret number one: I can make more money in one day selling an online course than I can in an entire month of YouTube ads and affiliate marketing. Based on my math, I was able to make more money in one day than an entire $500 a month, and really not even, but $500 a month divided by 6,000 is 6 months. It would take 6 months at $500 a month to generate 6,000, and I did that in one day. This is true. I can make more money in one day selling an online course than I can in an entire month of YouTube ads and affiliate marketing. And this is why the online education industry is so crazy. Now, I know you probably have 1,000 questions and you have different objections. You're like, yeah, but isn't it crowded? Or yeah, but why would anybody even buy an online course? And we're going to be addressing some of these things when there's free information out there. But I want to encourage you to first consider the math. The trajectory of the growth of the e-learning industry by 2030 tells us a couple things. Number one, it is growing by, more specifically, about 17.5% every single year, compounding. How many dollars are flowing into e-learning? People learning from home, buying digital courses, doing online education. A lot of money. It's a couple $100 billion right now. It's going to be over $800 billion by 2030. So if you position yourself and you learn these skills and you put something out there, this is going to be a $2.3 billion per day industry. It seems to only continue to multiply, meaning these projections. And to be clear, these are projections. But every data point is showing us that real dollars are being transacted over the internet and put into the pockets of YouTube creators and teachers and RVers that package what they know into a course. The question is, I know there could be all kinds of skepticism, and I have empathy for that. And there's like, oh, but what about competition and all this different stuff? And it feels saturated. Like, when you think about how big the total addressable market is, we're talking marketing, branding, kind of higher level business terms here. It's massive. And then when you go all the way down to that couple that did RVs, and Business Insider highlighted them on how to fix your RV and it saved money, and they generated $22,000, you start seeing, oh, that's practical. You could go, oh, Sean, this is just hype. You can say whatever you want, but like, look at the math. Generating $22,000 from an online course is practical. And that's what the math is telling us, right? With $848 billion being the projection, this is a CAGR, is the compound annual growth rate, again, is almost 20% in this industry. This is Kerry. He has a couple different brands. He has Shirt School. He also has Digital Dad. He has 2 different YouTube channels. And he figured out how to do like print on demand t-shirts, as well as like Facebook ads, and started how to scale an apparel business. And he did that. Then he turned it into an online course, and he's now generated multiple millions of dollars for him and his family. He's been able to be debt free, bought their dream home, able to give to their church and more causes than they ever imagined. The vehicle for changing Kerry's life was creating an online course. So what is an online course, or what is a digital product? Just so we're on the same page, there's a couple different ways you can approach this. You could create an online course, like that is, you film it, all the videos are there, all the materials are there, and it's done and it's ready to sell. In some cases, you may not even really need to update it that much because perhaps the information doesn't change a lot. With the course that I created on YouTube, yes, YouTube changes, so we have refilmed it, reshot it a couple times. Another way to do it is like a membership site where there's monthly content coming out. And that's kind of even a cooler way in some ways, because if things are always changing, you just are always doing new things every month. Then there's also digital products, which is the whole idea here is, could you create it once and then sell it forever? And digital products could be like templates, downloads, LUTs. Omar El-Takori, who's one of our Think Media content creators, he did his photography presets when he was really heavily into photography. So he's wedding photographer, couples photographer, and he had a whole workflow, and he would teach about that on his Omar El-Takori YouTube channel. And he then used his own Lightroom presets. So he sold them for $20. And then he put out a video, and the video actually blew up. And by blew up, I mean, it got like 168,000 views, which is a lot, but like, it's not millions. And he ended up generating over the next 3 months enough money to pay their mortgage for their house in Las Vegas. Something like almost $2,000 a month, selling a $20 digital download based off something he knew, his expertise, something that was related to his life. So the reason this is so powerful is because there's pros and cons, and here they are. It is a growing industry. It's low overhead. It's high margin, simplicity, freedom, low risk, and scalability. Now, the cons is the competition. So no doubt about it, you don't want to be cavalier with learning the skills or learning how to market or learning how to brand or learning how to stand out, learning how to get awareness for it and get the right people finding you, get the right positioning of your course, the right naming of your course. The learning curve. I do think that while you could put easy in air quotes, nothing that comes with building an online business is easy. There is a learning curve of learning, well, how do I package my course? How do I structure it? And that's why it'd be the easy myth. Whereas it's easy, perhaps compared to your grandfather and your grandmother. My grandmother and grandfather met in the military, in the Air Force. I think it was called the Army Air Corps at the time. My grandmother was a mechanic for the airplanes. My grandfather was a pilot. And they eventually, once they got out of the military, launched a dental practice and had to like word of mouth, newspapers, billboards. You know, I don't think they ever did a billboard actually. And they built up their dental practice and all that kind of stuff. And so when I think about the toil and the grit of my grandparents compared to the complaining of this like entitled present world where it's like, man, it's so hard. I gotta like sit at my computer and like record some videos and upload it into a membership area. And then I have to figure out Facebook ads. So there's a level of like, it is easy. You're not like in a field with a pickaxe chipping rocks apart. But the easy myth is that this is a whole new set of skills. This is kind of like knowledge work versus manual labor. Like, don't get it twisted. Here in Las Vegas in summer, if you're a roofer, that's some freaking hard work. 110 degrees, sun beating down, sweating your eyes out. Like, that's hard. This is hard too, but also think about the pros. And so I like to try to, always tell you the truth and tell you like, and shoot straight to say like, I get the tension. Oh, you're just saying like it could be like a get rich quick. It's not get rich quick. It is learn the skill set. It's learn how to do it, but it's also honoring this is a growing industry. So you're positioning yourself in growth. Low overhead. You don't have to lease a building like my grandparents did. You don't have to pay for crazy amounts of advertising. You can grow your course organically just with the effort of creating social media content. High margins because it's digital and you don't have a physical business. My father is an entrepreneur, my stepdad, Phil. And so he gets $1 million contracts, but sometimes the margins can be super tight or even jobs could be not profitable when millions of dollars are transacted because a water line breaks, a truck breaks down, a piece of equipment breaks down. So when you start thinking about a digital product, you could transact over the internet. The margins are high. The simplicity of the business model. Once it's set up and once you build it once, the fact that you could continue to sell it, the freedom of the business model, that you can work from anywhere in the world, the risk. That's one thing I think that you didn't put yourself out there leasing a building, buying a coffee machine, buying all the point of sale iPads, setting up your sign, buying tables, hiring a team, only to learn that 12 months later, like it didn't work out. Nothing is without risk, but the cool thing about a business model like this is that ultimately, like, what's the worst that could happen? You don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt in drilling equipment or something. You know what I mean? Like, it is the best business model, and it's scalable. So you can continue to scale it, especially as your skills multiply. It kind of reminds me of McCain Dog Training, who help people have a well-behaved four-legged family member. And I remember they became one of our students years ago. Their channel's, I think, much bigger now. This is like an old school screenshot that I was able to take of even the old subscribe button and all this different stuff. Well, what was wild was getting to hear their story. And we've also gotten to meet up at Vid Summit or VidCon, these different events. But I would never forget that during the pandemic, they have a physical dog training business in Canada. And they have employees, they have overhead. And then Canada, even more so, strictly locked down and shut down everything. And the US shuts down everything. And the world's going through this crazy time. It was a very disruptive time. Those who built their online influence and those who turned their knowledge and their experience into an online course didn't just thrive during good times, they were able to survive during bad times. And so their online course was able to help them support
A tasty take on a soft, bite-sized blondie. New Chips Ahoy Baked Bites.
Pampers Swaddlers keeps baby 3 times drier, so your baby stays comfortably dry all night long. Pampers Swaddlers, dry all night.
to help them support their business when they weren't allowed because of government overreach to do their business physically. And so they have their life skills course, the McCain Dog Method for training for your dogs. And this particular course is $397. You could do a promo. There's a coupon code that people could do. And I'm sure you've seen websites like Skillshare. People are making courses about photography or presentation or drawing or social media or freelancing. Guitars, you've maybe seen a site like Udemy. To be clear, I do not recommend uploading your course to places like Udemy or Skillshare. I mean, it beats a poke in the eye. It beats a kick in the pants. But that's not what I would do, because I would want more control. And those are platforms that actually you're on somebody else's platform. You don't really control your own brand. Plants and Lucia has built up her channel to over 50,000 subscribers and is monetizing in multiple ways. That's what's also kind of exciting about this, because for the YouTube creator, she's doing ads and she's doing brand deals and she is doing affiliate marketing. But she also created an online course, and it's called Lights for Houseplants 101. It is $12.99. But now think about that. The transaction fee is something like 3% on there. And so at $13, I don't know math, it's going to be 30 cents, 50 cents. So she's able to pocket $11.50 or something like that if she sells one online course. Do you know how many views you have to get to even make $11? Do you know how many affiliate sales you have to get to make $11? So even at a low ticket course, she gets all the money basically, and is able to then say, okay, it's also, most people are going to be price insensitive, just like her. If you're obsessed with plants, you're like $13. Like, I'd love it to get your step-by-step, she talks about how to use a light meter and keep your plants healthy. This is a real skill set too. One of our beloved team members here at Think Media, Melissa, is a plant mom. And at Anderson Studios, which is Kyle's house, his loft, where we shoot our podcast in Las Vegas, he's got these plants around and he doesn't have her skills. So his plants are always dying. So sometimes you need a plant mom to come into your life to help you not murder your plants. And so once you get into this kind of stuff, you're like, yeah, $13. Think about what people are spending their money on. And the myth and the mind blocker you may have is like, yeah, well, why would someone pay for that? Well, you could say that. I mean, it's as simple as saying people do. And you may not, but thousands of people are, millions of people are. And I would argue smart people buy online courses because they understand the speed of not just searching for free information, but figuring out, I want to learn how to light house plants. It's like smart people buy books. Some people, why would you buy a book? I could just like ask ChatGPT. Yeah, okay, good luck. But ultimately, when you buy someone's book that they've taken 5 years or 10 years or 20 years for $20, and you get all their knowledge and experience and perspective, smart people invest money in knowledge. And so while it might seem outside of the box to think, why would somebody buy a lights for houseplants course? When you can say, that's the problem I want to solve. I want it short. I want it quick. I don't want any ads. I don't want any brand sponsorships in it. I don't want to have to skip ad here on YouTube. I want to just go right through a program that will teach me the skill I'm trying to learn. So just another example, secret number 2. We're talking about 3 secrets that are all around this idea of the smartest online entrepreneurs, people that are starting a side hustle on YouTube creators, are packaging what they know into a course that they can sell. Secret number 2 is I don't have to be an expert to create a profitable online course. Well, Sean, what do you mean? Like, wouldn't I want to, of course, make something great and I need to put something out there? Well, yes, absolutely. But one of the things that holds people back is they think, man, what? I don't know anything yet. I'm not an expert in anything. I don't have a degree in anything. But the good news is this: you don't need to be an expert. Like somebody, if you're waiting for someone to walk into your house that for some reason is wearing knight armor and they come in with a giant sword like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, and they sit you down and they go, get on your knees, my child. And then they knight you and they're like, you are now an expert. You are allowed to create an online course. Good luck. And then they just disappear in a puff of smoke and you're like, what just happened? I predict that scenario is not going to happen in your life, right? I mean, you probably agree with me. Like, if you're sitting around waiting to become an expert, when's that going to happen? And what you'd be shocked by is there's millions of people making money with online courses who aren't experts, but they're an expert in the way they do it. They're not experts, they're just experienced. Like, how do you become an expert in fixing RVs? You drive around in an RV for a while, you have a lot of stuff break. And then you figure out how to fix it, and you've gone through a lot of pain, a lot of struggle, a lot of hardship. In fact, some of the greatest qualifications for creating an online course is if you've gone through struggle and pain, and you've made a lot of mistakes, and you've had to fix more things than most people, which means you're more experienced, and you've found ways to overcome things. You're an expert in the way you do it. You RV'd for a couple thousand miles, and you're like, we broke down here, the hot water heater here, and the alternator here, and we had to figure this thing out here, and we couldn't actually pump out our poop here, or we had to do it some other place, and you share what you know. Expert in the way that you do it. So tip number 1 under secret number 2 is you just have to be one step ahead. One step ahead. This is Jeff Bethke. He's got a Bible study course about digging into the word online workshop. $50, about an 8-part, I should say, online video course with practical, thought-provoking that'll help you read the Bible with more clarity, excitement, and freshness. So I actually don't really know Jeff's full background, but I'm pretty sure that maybe he went to Bible school. Maybe he's had some time in ministry, but I don't think he's a PhD. He's not saying he's a PhD. You know what I mean? Like, he loves the Bible, has studied it, has learned and studied under others. Now he's teaching what he knows in a $50 online course, right? Experienced. And by the way, the reason I bring up this example is because if anybody is familiar with inside kind of the church world and the Christian world, which is a world I'm very passionate about as a Christian myself, like there's a lot of different perspectives that people have. And for those that would call ourselves like Orthodox Christians, we agree on essential things like who Jesus is, what the gospel is. But as far as like even like how to approach reading the Bible, and you know, the original languages are now brought into some different modern translations. Some people get really passionate about weird details. And if that causes division, it's kind of toxic. But if it's like, yeah, like we agree on these core essentials of what Christianity is, but then there's also like these other things. And so the key is that as you're building up your YouTube channel, your way of doing it, your brand, your style, people who start to develop know, like, and trust with you will want to do this course your way. They'll buy digging into the word with you. Other people will be like, I don't even agree with Jeff. Well, they're never going to buy the course and they're not going to subscribe to the channel. Do you know how many different, somebody wants to go get they want a PhD person to do it. Jeff's crushing it. He doesn't have a PhD. But the only point I'm trying to make is you don't have to be an expert. And here's the second big opportunity and tip number 2. Beginners are always the largest market and one of the best audiences to start with. Meaning this, it's really good news that you don't have to be an expert, because if you're 1 or 2 steps away from being a beginner, then the course you should create should be for beginners. It would absolutely be a mistake, and I believe a lack of integrity, if you also pretended to be advanced or pretended to be further than you were. So as soon as you do real estate for 12 months, you could make a low-cost, affordable online course on getting started in real estate, 5 things I wish I knew, how to get your real estate license because you got your real estate license, how to do a couple deals because in your first year you did a couple deals. And then you're like, this course is for people who are considering getting started and are a beginner at real estate in Washington State, some specific market. And someone goes, I just want somebody that maybe they discovered you on social media, even very few people. And they're like, man, I like your vibe. I like the way you communicate. And I would love for you to just kind of hold my hand for $25, for $97. I would love for you to hold my hand and just get me started. Big opportunity. Beginners are always the largest market in any industry, so it's one of the best audiences to start with. I found this course on Udemy, ChatGPT Mastery, the beginner to master course. It's already sold 94 students. It's generated $1,425, which also proves the point. Why would people pay for information when there's so much free information? Because they will. Because some people understand the value that when you pay attention, that ultimately when you pay, it a lot of times leads to more transformation when you want a result. But also you want it all organized. You just want somebody to explain it to you. This is a 2-hour and 8-minute course. Why do I bring this up? There's no way this person could be an expert. Why? The ChatGPT has been out for 4 minutes. So you're like 1 or 2 steps ahead. That's as many steps as possible. You might be the leading expert because the thing has been around for 4 seconds. And you're like, but if you stayed up all night, made some coffee, got super into it, AI is super cool, I learned some things, I made some mistakes. If you've clocked 40 hours doing it, I want to talk to you because I could shorten my learning curve if I talk to you for 40 minutes about what you learned in 40 hours. The power of online education, the consolidation of information, helping people go faster, and people want to invest money when you can help them do that. So here's 3 mistakes I made that'll help you when you're making your online course. The first biggest mistake I made was I made an advanced online course when starting. Now, I'm not contradicting my advice here, because when I say advanced, I also mean how big the course was. I was not a beginner when my first course came out in 2016. I had been doing YouTube for 9 years at that point, and I had figured out how to rank videos and earn money with affiliate marketing. So I was teaching something that was proven, repeatable, that had worked for other people. I had coached a few people. And so, but the problem was I bit off the biggest thing I could have ever, and I made, when you could intersperse advanced for like a long course. Don't make a month-long course when you're just starting. Don't make a year-long course. You're like, what I'm gonna do, Sean, I love this video. That's why I hit the like button, because I'm grateful. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna found a university, an online university for ChatGPT. I mean, do you, but you may want to just create the mini get started course first, is all I'm saying. So that was a mistake. My first online course was insanely heavy and hard to build, which is the second mistake, building an extra large online course. And also I made a course, and if any of you are part of Video Ranking Academy, it is a good class course for beginners. But it's also pretty advanced. We just brought on a new person to our team named Brooke, and she was like, this academy she was like, this thing is robust. She's like, there are some and I was like, oh yeah, because I was also kind of like overly concerned with wanting to give as much value as possible, which is a good concern, wanting to over deliver, which is a good concern. But when you really understand the person that you want to serve, like what are the building blocks, this is also why we have since then gone backwards to create smaller things to help people even prepare to be a part of our academy, which is a much larger. And then the other one was just waiting too long to start.
Subway's got a new deliciously fresh meal of the day with chips and a drink for just $6.99. Take that, $17 salad stand. Find your fresh with the all-new $6.99 meal of the day at Subway.
The other one was just waiting too long to start. I wish I had the exact training you're listening to right now, because I had too much negative self-talk or myths or false beliefs about, oh, I'm not ready yet, who would listen to me, like who even buys an online course, will this be a waste of my time, all this other stuff. I really did wait too long to start. And it's all about starting fast, starting messy. And here's the secret. Here's how you start fast. You create a quick win or an introductory course. Simplify it down. The ones I showed you of like Plants and Lucia, like that course is like 20 minutes. She really broke it into very quick and educational bite-sized things. And she's like, step one, do this. It also is a big myth that I've learned that people want long. They don't want long, they want the answer. We're all so busy. Do you ultimately like, oh, I want 100 hours of content. I don't want long. I want the solution. I want to just get me that quick win, get me that thing. So what could you make that's like $7, that's $27, that's, $100, that gets a result, that teaches people the 8 things they need to fix their RVs. So for example, the animation on this slide was a little awkward, so let me just show you all the things. So like the Marketing Impact Academy, this is my friend Shalene Johnson's course. This is really, it is like a university. It's really not even an online course. It is a learning resource. She's created assessments. She's got people that like help you. She's got like tutors or like faculty, and you pick and choose things as you're building your online business, and it is incredibly robust. So that's like years. I do not suggest starting with that. Imagine like 4 years college degree. And the thing about the way it's structured is it's not that it has to take that long. It's that you use it as you go, but you continue to reference it like an encyclopedia, and it's very effective at helping you just solve the now problem and get results as you're building an online business. So think about it like college degree, 4 years. Video Ranking Academy, and this screenshot was back when it was called 2.0. Then we removed that. Now it's called Video Ranking Academy Foundations and Masters, and it's gone through different evolutions. But this was the version then. This was months. So imagine you could have like a college degree. That could be a huge program. You could have a college class, and it takes you 3 months, 4 months to go through it. That's kind of like Video Ranking Academy, be like a college class. Then we created a course called Grow with Video. That was really like one day. It was like 8 hours. Okay, and then we created a course called Video Product Review Profits, which was like like an hour, 1 hour. It was a mini course. It solved one clear problem. It taught one thing. It really taught affiliate marketing and video in like 1 hour crash course on it. So this is what I'm suggesting you start with, and a couple just different ways to think about it. Don't create something that would take years, the university. Don't even create the months, not even necessarily the 1 day. What is the 1 hour? And let me pose some questions for you. Again, if there's the thing you teach, what would you teach somebody? Or the thing you're experienced with, or the thing you wish you knew when you were starting? You're like, man, what I know about parenting now, what I wish I knew would have starting. What would you tell? But parenting is a lifelong education, right? So it technically is years. But sitting down and being like, I'm going to create, the ultimate parenting university. And you probably haven't lived through all this, but maybe you have. You're watching this, you're a baby boomer, and you're like, I could speak to all of it. I could speak to, infants, toddlers, adolescents, teenagers, empty nester, college, schools, every season. What would you teach in a year? What would you teach in a few months? What would you teach in a day? What would you teach in 1 hour? If you only had 1 hour to take your thing, package it up, and help that person, then that's actually a really good place to start. You'd be shocked about the kind of money you could make and the impact you can make with basically what would be called like a baby course or a mini course. Secret number 2. This is repeating secret number 2, is I don't have to be an expert to create a profitable course.
Leaders don't make excuses. You can get everything done. Build a successful business, go on adventures. You can do it all. You just need an assistant. That's why Magic makes it incredibly easy to get a dedicated virtual executive assistant, an assistant who will change your life. See for yourself and learn more at getmagic.com.
Play, blink, relief, work, play, blink, relief, work, play, blink, relief, work, play, blink, relief.
The only 3-in-1 extended relief formula for dry eyes. To help your eyes keep going.
Blink.
Relief with every blink.
I told you this is going to be a masterclass, and we are halfway, maybe further than that. But if you get value, let me know your aha moment so far, and let me know. I've got some starred questions coming in as well, so we are buckling our seatbelts for today. We've got a lot to share, and let me know your aha moment. But we're on secret number 2 of 3 secrets, and secret number 2 is I do not have to be an expert to create a profitable course. And I want to give you a second framework to show you the 3 different ways you can get into the online course creation game, essentially, without being an expert. This is really cool. So these are the 3 paths to earning money with online courses. All right, so here's the first one. You could be a knowledge broker, What's actually interesting about this is if you're familiar with affiliate marketing, you talk about a camera, you talk about makeup, you talk about some exercise equipment, you talk about an exercise bike, you talk about a fishing pole, you talk about some sunglasses, you talk about some software, and you share a link in your description on a YouTube video, and someone clicks the link and you get a cut. Did you know that you can be an affiliate for online courses? You could be, just like you're an affiliate for Amazon.com, you could be an affiliate for online courses. Well, the reason this is interesting is you can partner with an expert, and you don't have to create your own course. You could be an affiliate for somebody else's course, and this can be much more lucrative than Amazon. For example, and it may be that you already have some level of expertise, but you don't have the time, or you haven't got around to it yet, or you don't have the confidence. So I've been doing video production for a while, and I started Think Media, where I'm talking about cameras and video production and all that kind of stuff. And as I tapped into this knowledge broker kind of thing, I discovered a program called Local Video Academy. And it was all about how to actually start a local agency in a local city and how to like the email scripts to reach out to local businesses, how to pitch them, how you'll help them and make video advertisements for them, how to do the services, even if you want to run ads for those local businesses, how to do it, and all this kind of stuff. I had done some of that since 2009 when I started Clear Vision Media, but I definitely didn't have any templates or email follow-ups or any of that stuff. And when I thought about all that, I was a little overwhelmed. So I discovered their program. So I was like, and I'd been following the creators for a while. And so I looked, do they have an affiliate program? Sure enough, they did. And they were actually paying 50% commissions on a course that had 2 levels. I think it was $2,000 or there's a $3,000 level and they helped you more, like onboard everything, or they gave you some more coaching or put you a part of a group. And again, this would like help you sell video services to local businesses. So I was like, well, this is pretty cool, because if you found somebody else that has an online course, this is the strategy related to like the YouTube channel you're building, but you're like, man, I don't know if I have time at this moment to sit down and create that, or the people who are watching me would be interested in this, and people who are watching Think Media either wanted to, how could you make money with your camera? You could start doing video marketing services. Maybe you were already a freelancer of some kind, but you were struggling. And so if you learned from somebody who had all the templates and everything else. So I made one YouTube video about it. I put a link in my description. And then I ended up doing, I think, 2 sales. And I want to say it was one of the higher end or one of the lower end. And I forget, because it's now back in like 2014 or something. As I started going through Build Your Tribe and the Marketing Impact Academy, learning how to do all this. And I ended up making $1,500. This is when we were living in Irvine. Just as the knowledge broker, right? So the key is that for some, even sitting down and making your own online course first is probably not the first move. Or depending on how much time you have, if you simply learn how to, so what some people call as a joint venture partner or an affiliate partner. And so you're an affiliate for someone else's course. The other cool thing about this is you might be, level 1 or level 2 of your knowledge, but you're like, I would like to promote another expert. See the power there? So even if you're slightly insecure, not in a toxic way, and just you're like, I don't quite actually have the credibility yet. I want to get behind somebody else's thing that I can support. So this is one path that a lot of people actually don't really realize and don't think about how to integrate. But then there's another path, and that's the reporter. So you could be the knowledge broker. You could be the reporter. The reporter, have you ever heard of the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill? You ever read it? So Napoleon Hill, nearly a century ago, was just a journalist, essentially. And he studied over 500 self-made millionaires, including Henry Ford and Andrew Carnegie and Charles Schwab. He may or may not have interviewed them. Like, it's actually under deep scrutiny of like, it recorded that he said he met Andrew Carnegie, probably never did. Separate conversation. The punchline is he studied them. This is what the reporter did. You study the attributes of other high performers. If you look at someone like Tim Ferriss, who's an incredible entrepreneur and investor in his own right, but like he talks about in his podcast, I want to deconstruct the lives and the businesses of high performers. So what I love about the reporter model is this is why if you have an interview show or you bring on experts and you synthesize the information from other experts, there are many authors and course creators today who have best-selling books and best-selling online courses, synthesizing, being a journalist, being a reporter. And what's cool is you can actually do both of these. So imagine if you have a video podcast, you can be a knowledge broker, you could be a reporter, and you don't have to be an expert. Secret number 2, you don't have to be an expert to create a profitable online course. Think and Grow Rich is it's one of the best-selling books of all time, right? And so finally, you can eventually be the results expert, or maybe that's already you. So which one do you like best? Which one would you start with? Knowledge broker, reporter, or expert? So then eventually you have the results. This is the key. And notice that even the foundation of the pyramid, this can even be a journey. This was my journey as well. If you're not the expert, you just start brokering other people's knowledge. But what happens during that? You start learning and growing yourself. You interviewing others or studying others, which I'm sure you do. Success leaves clues. So you study others with success. You then apply what you're learning, and eventually you get the results. And so it really becomes a transformational experience where, yes, Carrie, who's doing the t-shirt school, has sold hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars in print-on-demand t-shirts. And so now he teaches other people how to do that. The good news about this, though, is anywhere on your journey, you can get started. Personally, I took online courses, I read books, I interviewed experts, I learned skills, I practiced, I took action, I got results, and eventually I became an expert. So not only are these three different paths, there also can be kind of a compound effect. And I would argue that the best and most sustainable creator businesses do all three. Like, there's no reason why you can't. Like, we continue to promote and let people know about products and programs and books and resources that have changed my life, changed our company's life. There's probably not a video that goes by that I don't recommend a book, you know what I mean, or something like that. That's kind of a knowledge broker. Affiliate link, I make 22 cents. You know what I mean? If you click the link, and so.
At Loyola University, Chicago's Parkinson School of Health Sciences and Public Health, we believe health is a fundamental human right. We catalyze change to create better outcomes for all. We engage with communities to make a positive impact. We collaborate across disciplines to find solutions to complex problems. Join us as we reimagine the future of health today.
Being a reporter, like either breaking down what other people did. A lot of YouTube creators do that as well. Like, you see videos of like Warren Buffett's 22 top secrets. You might not be a world-class investor yet, but you can study them and even interview them or break it down like Napoleon Hill did. But then over time, you eventually become the results expert. And so which one do you like best? I'm curious. And which one would you start with most confidently? And in just a second, I've got secret number 3 for you. I've got a whole really powerful 2 more frameworks to share with you. I bit off more than I could chew. I mean, I think we'll be all right, but we're 52 minutes in, and I can't even imagine if you're still here. I really am grateful that you're here, and I would love to know your aha moment. How To Vid says, that's the best book I've read so many times. It is a really good book. I love the Black Edition. I got to check out the Black Edition. Think and Grow Rich Black Edition. That sounds cool. Is there going to be a replay? Yeah, this video is on our Think Media podcast channel, so I definitely recommend saving it. You know, share this if you're getting value. Smash like if you're getting value. And yeah, that's right, Shannon. Reach out to courses, see if they have affiliate programs. Great ideas. Knowledge Broker. I love it, Susan. Really good. A lot of people have read the book. I'm glad you're getting value. Checking in with y'all. I see you creative. Thanks for being here. And thanks for all the love. So much value. Glad you're getting value. Awesome. Awesome. I'm coming to you from Vegas too, so you can shout me out wherever you're watching from. David, I appreciate your kindness. So we got secret number 3, but I do want to let you know, if you're this far and you're like, okay, this is pretty cool, and I would love to learn more about this and go deeper. And is there even a way I could learn all the steps of building an online course and go a lot deeper than that? If you haven't heard yet, we are doing a special collaboration with my mentor, Chalene Johnson. It's at miabonus.com. I'll tell you a little bit more about it later, but we've actually put together 4 of our best programs in conjunction with her Marketing Impact Academy, which is the program that I learned how to do all of this in. So when I was trying to figure out how to launch an online course, we've actually, in full transparency, done over $10 million now, over 8 figures in our Kajabi account. And it's quite a bit higher than that now, but whenever last time we checked. And the punchline is, it didn't happen by accident. Of course, it came by hard work, skills, learning all that stuff. But as I got started, I followed somebody who wanted to do it step by step. So if you want to learn more about that, I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But MIA bonus, and there's a link in the description down below as well, which is really everything you need to know. And by the way, ultimately, the program that Chalene has, isn't about creating online courses. It is about that, but she's got deep online business, e-com opportunities, Shopify, lots of different ways. It's bigger than that, but that was how I used it because I saw, okay, some of the stuff I'm sharing with you here, I was like, man, online courses are the best business model. But I don't know how to market. I don't know how to brand. I don't know how to structure this stuff. I don't know how to package it all together. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So that's where I learned it all. MIAbonus.com if you want to learn a little bit more about that. But secret number 3, I don't need a large audience to have a highly successful online course. So the truth is, you do need a large audience to make money with affiliate marketing and YouTube ads and everything else. Yes, brands are paying micro influencers and nano influencers, but the math I shared earlier in this video reveals just kind of the correlation between, of course, views and money. And that shouldn't really be a surprise to us. The amount you're paid by a brand or by YouTube for running ads or by the amount of clicks you can get on your affiliate links is, of course, directly correlated to the amount of money you make. The reason being, too, is it's essentially CPMs. CPMs are so low, if you make $10 CPMs or $5 CPMs, you only get half that or less for every 1,000 views that an ad actually runs on. Whereas in the meantime, imagine if you get 1,000 views on a video, but that video then talks about something that is your own product, your own service, or your own online course, something you own, and something like Plants and Lucia, where you make almost $11.50. You make $11.50 of the $12 offer. Plants and Lucia makes more in a day. If she sells 10 of those in a day, she makes $120 in a day. If she only gets a couple thousand views in a day, she makes like $1.50 in ad revenue, right? So this is kind of a well-known fact, but I think it's important to know that you do actually need a bigger audience to make affiliate marketing and YouTube ads scale. Audiences can also be fickle, or views can also go up and down. So one of the powerful things, of course, is to launch an online course. And here's the Instagram post. There's the first graphic of Video Ranking Academy back in March 3rd, 2016. This is a special week. On March 1st, I launched my first online course called Video Ranking Academy. It's always been a dream of mine to teach others and help others spread messages that matter with online video. And this course is a major step towards realizing that dream. And I'll never forget my first web class. I remember I did a web class, webinar to talk about the course, and I made 87 mistakes. Let me tell you some of them. It's kind of funny, and then I got to give you this framework. So I go live. I am sweating bullets.
Keep your clothes organized and outfits ready with the Command Folding Clothes Hanger. Easy to install for more hanging space wherever you need it. Holds up to 5 items. No tools required. And when you're done using it, simply fold it away and get on with your day. Command Folding Clothes Hanger.
I don't know how to do a web class. We're sitting here in 2013, 2023. So this is 6 years ago. I had done exactly 0 web classes. So if you're also like, man, this all seems kind of stressful, I get it. That's why it's really nice to have like coaching through it and stuff. So I get on and I have like my slides ready, spelling errors everywhere. So as you would, maybe still you may see some today. Thank God for Victoria. She proofreads my slides these days. Okay. And I remember I'm going through it. A lot of times they'll say, if you're going to make an offer, like it should be at the 45 mark or the 50-minute mark. So this is even going through like best practices. Okay. So I'm at minute, hour and 25. Not a lot's changed. And I am way past that time, but I'm super stressed too. I'm like, okay, I got more to say. I'm super late. Okay, whatever. I finally get to the place where I'm like, hey, so if you've enjoyed this, if you want more, I've got like another thing. And I remember we had like a URL. It was like videorankingacademy.com. I have since also learned I don't know how to spell academy. And use simpler URLs and use like easier to spell words. Because if you can't spell it, maybe you can. But if you can't spell it, other people probably can't either. So here's what's funny though, is every single slide the URL was spelled wrong. So I'm at the critical moment that my financial future is resting on. And we get to the sale in the webinar and the URL is spelled wrong. Okay, well, maybe people could figure it out because someone's like, oh, it's spelled wrong. Now, you shouldn't assume that. So actually one of like the basic principles of online marketing is removing friction, like making sure things work, making sure they're clear, they're simple. So as if that wasn't bad enough, all that what that was a URL I purchased, albeit spelled wrong. The actual URL, Video Ranking. We don't even use that today. It's too long. It's whatever. VideoRankingAcademy.com. Academy spelled wrong, and it's on like 30 slides as I'm describing this. I bought it on GoDaddy. You go to GoDaddy, and you can forward a URL. And the reason I do that is because if you've got Teachable or Thinkific or whatever it is, you have some kind of a page. And your page is usually like courses.sean.cannell.com/sale/5278565, which is very hard to communicate. So it's much easier to say videorankingacademy.com, assuming people can spell it and assuming you don't spell it wrong. But here's what was wild. So bought the URL, forwarded the URL, checked a little box called forward with masking. All that meant is that instead of seeing courses.seancannell.com 725256773, it just stays pretty. It just is like videorankingacademy.com. Turns out Kajabi doesn't allow forwarding with masking. Therefore, the URL did not work no matter what URL you typed in. So let's play back the tape. I am now trying to sell my online course. The very doorway to get through to the sale is locked. There probably could be no greater mistake if in the effort of ultimately launching and promoting your online course. And so luckily, I mean, it was like, oh, hang on, excuse me, wait in the back. And you grab the URL and try to put in the comments. And I shared you the results. Luckily, still some sales came in and still some stuff happened. But here became the good news. You have to start before you're ready. You have to be willing to make mistakes. You have to start messy. And we say start messy a lot. Here's the definition of start. That was pretty messy. I will never forget David Goldstein, who's a character in my story. He's just like, he's been an influence in my life. It's been encouraging, not in this case. I remember he was texting me before. He's kind of been a business mentor, just a guy I met at church. He's like, Sean, you're going to crush it tonight. I'm like, okay, I'm going to crush it. He's like, good luck. I was like, all right. And then, I'm doing my webinar. And I remember at 45 minutes, he's like, okay, is the sale coming up? I see my phone. Stress, 10 out of 10. David, why are you texting me? I can't change anything now. Another one. And I need to put my phone on silent. He's like, dude, get to the sale. What are you doing? All this stuff. And I'm like, give me a break, relax. And then we get to the thing. And he's like, URL doesn't work. URL doesn't work. And I'm like, I know it doesn't work. I see my phone's going off. Anyways, maybe you can feel some of the emotions I feel. The encouragement is you got to get version 1.0 to the market, and then you get the next version to the market. Then you try again. Next time, I didn't use forward with masking. I had a chance to go back and correct my slides, and then the URL was spelt right. Over time, I learned other best practices, and especially as I continued to go through the education, because I was kind of sprinting on all of this. I'm juggling family, and I'm juggling, we'd moved back to Vegas, and we're trying to get things going. And we have, at the time, my wife was having some pretty severe health challenges. You might know our story. So we're juggling a lot of different things. And so I was building the plane as it was flying, as we do as content creators and entrepreneurs. But that's okay. Just keep building. That's okay. Just keep flying, And so
The Nissan Armada, starting at just $57,520.
I'm worth it.
I'm worth it. It's a 4-word feminist manifesto. Because we're worth it. Because I'm worth it. I wrote that.
So ultimately, I learned a concept though, And this is number 3. I don't need a large audience to have a highly successful online course. You only need 1,000 true fans. What does that mean? Well, you can look up this article, and I recommend you do. But it says this: to be a successful creator, you don't need millions. You don't need millions of dollars or millions of customers or millions of clients or millions of fans. To make a living as a craftsperson, a photographer, a musician, a designer, an author, an animator, an app maker, an entrepreneur, or inventor, you only need 1,000 true fans. A true fan is defined as a fan that will buy anything you produce. These die-hard fans will drive 200 miles to see you sing. They'll buy a hardback and a paperback and an audible version of your book. They will purchase your next figurine, sight unseen. They will pay for the best of DVD version of your free YouTube channel. Right? 1,000 true fans. So check out the article, but check this out as it relates to online courses. If you were to create a $37 course and you had 1,000 true fans, now maybe you have 2,200 YouTube subscribers, but some of those people are really into your stuff. They buy your $37 course, you'd earn $37,000. And imagine if you had a year to do it. So this is the average teacher salary in the United States. Is right around $37,000. So now think about the world we're living in, where you could package what you know into an online course. You have a year to do it. Make videos, make some TikToks, dance around, do whatever you want. Probably do it more intentionally than I just described, but you get what I'm saying. Create social media content. And then the key though, right, is it does take effort to build it, and how are you going to market it, how are you going to sell it, how are you going to set up the funnels, how are you going to set up everything to have it all work. But if you had a year to do it and it was a $37,000 course, could you get 1,000 true fans? $37,000. And then imagine if it was a $197 course times 1,000 true fans, that's $197,000. At the beginning, we asked the question, how are creators earning 6, 7, and even 8 figures? I think we could see that, man, the 1,000 true fans model makes it possible. But now let's say you create an online course for $97. And you're like saying, Sean, even 1,000, like it's hard enough getting 1,000 YouTube subscribers, like to actually get 1,000 people who really, as Kevin Kelly in the article describes it, they buy anything you sell, like they're really into your stuff. So let's say you make something for $97, you go, it's a pipe dream. Okay, let's really break it down. So a $97 course, 1,000 true fans is basically a 6-figure a year income, $97,000 a year. Caveat, if you're doing this, ad revenue and affiliates is coming in as well. You know what I mean? Like you don't like stop getting ad revenue at this point. Like, so you could easily put, if you do this, you'd push over 6 figures. But let's go really practical. Year 1, you get 250 true fans. Year 1, you hustle, you're putting in the work, you're really understanding not just social media content, but building a brand, curiosity marketing, like different things that you're understanding. And in the first year, though, your $97 course only does 250 sales. So that's $24,250. So if we make this super practical, you start thinking, okay, you're doing some YouTube shorts. They're not paying well. We all know that. They're doing all right on YouTube, but you also upload those vertical videos other places. You upload those on social media. You really get your kind of like link in bio, and you get how to do social, really clear. Then you can get to that 250 sales in a year, right? In a year. And side note, we also have another resource available for a limited time, specifically about Instagram, as well as social media. If you didn't watch our free social media class, it's at idea-to-income.tips. I co-taught this with Shalene Johnson. And so if you're interested in, I know you're in a deep dive class here, but like as I'm describing the social media stuff, this class is a much watch. So you can stream this free class. Idea-to-income.tips is where that's out. And so trying to go a little bit deeper on just, what we're talking about here in regards to, let me get you here we go. So there's only a few days left to check out the limited replay of this class at idea-to-income.tips. Just sign up there if you want to watch that. Let's bring this back up.
Are taxes still on your to-do list? Get them done for you. We'll match you with the right tax expert for your needs. Our experts have an average of 12 years of experience. Connect with them in real time, and they can finish as soon as today. Ask any question, even on nights and weekends during tax season. Your expert is backed by a team of experts, and they'll only sign once it's 100% accurate. Get your taxes done for you from start to finish with TurboTax Full Service.
Shamelessly seasoned in every groove and twist. Dot's sensationally seasoned pretzels.
And then thinking about all of your purposeful and intentional and value adding activities across social media and YouTube are 250 sales in a year. Thanks for the super chat as well. How to vids. I will definitely get to your questions. And if anybody else has any questions, especially super chat questions, just let me know. Apparently we're going to be here all day and I'm grateful for it. Year 2. So let's go practical. Oh, Sean's a get rich quick guy. Okay. I mean, whatever. This is year 2. I mean, we start, you know what I mean? Like we're talking, build your skills, do the work, slow and steady wins. Let's make this practical. And yes, what is incredible is there's something about, it's like the harder I work, the luckier I get. There is something about, oh man, at month 7, I had a breakout video, because it's true. We are each one viral video away from changing our life and business. We're one ranked video away from changing our life and business. But let me ask you this. We call this the Oprah dilemma. A lot of people know, any Oprah fans, that if you are an author and your book was shouted out by Oprah, it was an instant bestseller. If you created some kind of a program and you got to go on Oprah's show and she sent people to your website, boom, she could make your business overnight. But imagine the Oprah dilemma. You go on Oprah. You're thinking about making an online course. You're thinking about turning what you knew into a product. So she sits you down and she's like, hey, Molly, I've heard you have created a painting class. I've heard you've created a fine art class for others. And I would love, how can people sign up? And then Molly goes, oh, well, you can go to mollysfineart.com, but it does say website under construction, but bookmark it, bookmark the page. Or you could go to mollysfineart.com and like there's a picture of my idea. If it's not built yet, you missed your opportunity. Now, the good news is we're living in a world where opportunities are like buses. There's another one coming every day. But this is why it's a mistake to focus too much on YouTube and social media before building your business. Because what happens if on upload 45 on YouTube, like Omar, it gets 168,000 views, but you've connected it effectively to a profitable working website that can sell your digital product. Okay. So year 2 though, your $97 course now does 500 units. Okay. And we're being practical. So even if you imagine yourself doing this, imagine creating an online course, but also picture yourself committing to the journey, not thinking that this is going to happen in 5 minutes, but where could you be in 5 years? Where could you be on the other side of learning these skills? So then let's look at year 3. If right now, when maybe you have a day job, what would it do for you and your family to bring in an extra $24,250 this year? Maybe by next year, you're able to tell your boss you could go part-time or you can quit, take that leap. Then by year 3, you're doing 97,000, but then multiply that by the other income streams. So maybe you're doing 110, 120, 130, 140. There is a lot of studies that have come out from Adobe and ConvertKit about the creator economy that breaks down this math that a lot of people criticize. Oh, it's just fake. It's not real. Oh, it's just and you're like, okay, I mean, this is the math. Like, this is why, 168 million people joined the creator economy since 2020. There's the 50 million in the creator, and then it was millions are earning six-figure incomes, right? And multiple millions are earning high five, an extra 10, an extra 20, $53,000 a year. 1,000 true fans, but it doesn't even have to be 1,000 true fans, right? Okay, so what has been your aha moment so far? I do have one more framework for you. And if you've been getting value, smash like. I am coming to your questions, how-to vids, and I appreciate your time today. And we're at an hour and 13 minutes, breaking every best practice on YouTube. But I mean, welcome to this class. What's been your aha moment so far? Let me know. I'm going to recap those. And again, if even in this class, obviously I'm not trying to say like I can cover everything here. We're covering like the tip of the iceberg. So ultimately, some of the skill sets to learn, right, is like, well, what about sales? How do you actually sell it and build the confidence to sell, or sell without being salesy, sell without being weird? What about course creation? How do you actually structure it? What's the best way to create it? Adult learning theory. How do you organize it? What about email marketing, branding? How do you actually stand out, differentiate your business? How do you actually structure your business? Best ways to structure an online business, mistakes, and all of that. If you are interested, and this is only if you're serious, right? And if you're interested in like learning from the person who taught me all of this, and this is what I applied to my YouTube course. And then I continue to go deeper, and I've been able to learn from Chalene Johnson. That is why during the last 7 days or whatever, we've been talking about her program, the Marketing Impact Academy. It does have online courses in it, but it is really bigger than that. It's more of like a lifelong learning resource, because you do get lifetime access, because this is always changing, and because at every level of the game, there's different stuff. Eventually you might be like, how do I do Facebook ads? Like, it's in there. You're like, how do I do Pinterest ads? How do I eventually set up a store? And Chalene has built seven or eight figure businesses, and built and sold businesses, including physical goods, hard goods, fitness space, all this different stuff. So it's actually a much bigger business program, but that's what I started to realize. I was like, man, I need to learn actually how to build a real business, the iceberg underneath the YouTube channel. So if you're interested in that, you can check out the link in the show notes, the description, or MIA bonus. And MIA bonus is, it's been a couple years since we promoted this, but she opens the door like once a year. And so at miabonus.com, we always rally behind it because we believe in education and we believe in skill sets and learning all this stuff from somebody who's proven and can teach you all of it. But
Pampers Swaddlers keeps baby 3 times drier, so your baby stays comfortably dry all night long. Pampers Swaddlers, dry all night.
Included a couple extra things, including our full-time YouTube creator course and YouTube Shorts Masterclass, and our video success secrets, and our personal branding masterclass, which are just extra bonuses at no extra charge, because we are an affiliate for Chalene Johnson's course. Yes, I'm a knowledge broker for her program, because I can do the YouTube thing, built the YouTube expertise, wrote the book on YouTube. But if it also comes, well, what about the iceberg? What about all the email marketing, setting up the websites, setting up the funnels? Well, let me let you know about the person who helped me understand all of that and more. And so again, definitely not right for everybody, but if you're serious and you're like, oh, I get it, I've been thinking about doing this, and I understand the value of investing in somebody that can help me go faster. If you value your time and don't just want to look at random information, but be a part of something that can help you have the shortest path to learning the skills, getting the answers, getting the information, and doing the right things and the right steps, that's definitely worth at least checking out, and miabonus.com is where that's at. But I do have one final framework for you, and I didn't realize how much I was packing in today. And we're going to do a few Q&A things here in a second, but start with the end in mind. One of my favorite quotes, Stephen Covey said it perhaps first. We always start with the end in mind, and we work backwards. Start with the end in mind and work backwards. I like doing it. If we go, okay, I get it. I do want to eventually launch a course. What does that actually mean for my YouTube channel, my branding? Or start with the end in mind. how do I do this? Like, what is it, working backwards? But specifically, I want to share with you the social media sales funnel. And the reason start with the end in mind is so powerful is what a lot of people do is they just start with social media. It's a mistake. Because what you want to do is start with the end in mind, which actually should be sales. And 99% of people do not do this, right? The biggest thing that is so common, and honestly, a lot more people, we're on a mission to double the creator economy, but not just inside of aspiring creators, but successful creators. And creators get obsessed, though, just with the vanity metrics. They focus all on reach, and I got to go viral, and all on impressions, and I got to get my account as big as possible, and they think I want to be known by as many people as possible. They think that's the key. They think that awareness, that top level is the key. If I can just have as much awareness as possible, when start with the end in mind would actually be to flip the whole thing. What are you building? What's the foundation? Where's this all going? Who's your ideal customer? Who's your target customer? And and you might be saying, I've never even thought about these things. That might be why you're struggling. Because Stephen Covey, that quote is from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of the most legendary personal development books ever. It's 20, 30, 40 years old or something. Start with the end in mind and then work backwards. So knowing the steps of basically the social media sales funnel is important. But people are focusing on the wrong things, because remember, this is also what would happen in awareness and the Oprah dilemma. Awareness just goes, and then they go to the next step and there's nothing there. Their website's down. And do you know how many people check out their bookmarks and go back? If you promote something and tell a person, oh, come back later. You know what I mean? Oh, Oprah, can you just let your people know that it'll be out in a couple weeks? Can they set a reminder on their phone? No, if it's not ready and working and right, and the whole thing's not built, and I know that can feel overwhelming, but you're here for real truth. That's why it's getting your business built properly. So awareness and engagement is literally where almost everybody's obsessed with, but it is important and fun, but a lot of times people procrastinate. Are you getting leads? And let me ask you. So this is where most people focus, right? Okay, can I at least get a vertical video to get as many views? Can I see how many comments I can get on a video? Can I see how many likes I can get? I'm trying to get subscribers. I'm just trying to get awareness. I'm trying to get some engagement. I'm just trying to get people to watch. Good. Okay, let me ask you a question. Are you capturing leads? Is there a way for somebody to go off of social media and to join you? And it doesn't even have to be an email list, although highly recommended. It could be text, email, Discord group, Facebook group, somewhere else. Have you noticed too, especially why some voices that are being censored and being shadow banned and are looking at some of the actions that big tech makes, build their own newsletters and build their own communities and diversify where people build their own websites? Because at the end of the day, if you're dependent on a platform, you don't have a real business. So where are you generating leads? And then are you generating sales? And do you have something to sell? Your income is correlated to the amount of buy buttons you have on your website.
Return the new salted caramel butterfingers.
You think they can swim?
Well, they're pirates.
Hey, what do you do here?
Get a gig that's built to last.
Well, Sean, I don't even have a website. Well, that could be why you're struggling with income. Well, Sean, I don't really have anything to sell. Now, to be clear, you don't have to actually create an online course. When I started discovering inside of the Marketing Impact Academy, people doing, there's this seashells website they talk about. It's like sea ocean jewelry, drop shipping, or rather e-commerce importing from like AliExpress. seashell jewelry, setting up a Shopify, figuring out distribution, and building a multiple six-figure business, that you take something. What was so funny was yesterday we did a review of a seashells channel, beach bumming, and the video was with Rob yesterday. 5,000 subs. And as I looked at it, I thought, this channel has limited upside potential. Not to speak anything negative over the channel, but it's probably not going to be 10 million subscribers, and I don't think it'll ever be 1 million. And it may never be 100,000. It's 5,000 right now. That doesn't mean it can't be a real business. But the key would be, okay, if I actually had my niche-focused YouTube channel, but I was capturing leads and I had a way to generate sales, physical products, journals, digital products, downloads, templates. Remember, what are your leads and what are your sales gonna be? Let's recap. Online courses are one of the best business models for creators. You can get started today as a knowledge broker, reporter, or a results expert, and avoid the mistakes of focusing on YouTube and social media before building a solid online business. The spelling errors are still present. Reports, reporter, or a results expert. Avoid the mistakes of focusing on YouTube and social media before building a solid. Okay. The real-time professional here. Avoid the mistake, not plural, of focusing on YouTube and social media before building. That last point is not what I'm trying to say. Avoid the mistake. Yeah, it is kind of what I'm trying to say. It's what we just proved. Avoid the mistake of not building your business first and getting your business in order before spending all of your time on social media. I was about to say wasting, and actually that's a good word to say. Social media is not a waste of time, and YouTube is not a waste of time, but it can be if you don't have the right things in place first. That would be the point to make. Crashed and burned with that last slide, but really grateful for it. And again, if you want help, I'm going to do some Q&A. I highly recommend just check out miabonus.com if you have any questions or anything too. There's a way to get in touch with me, the team. If you haven't seen the interview that Shalene and I did, that's on this very channel, the Think Media podcast channel. It's also on the audio version of the podcast. Great conversation as well that I highly recommend. But I got some Q&A. If you have any questions, put 4 question marks before and after your question. Smash like if you got value today. I'm going to start with the super chat here. How-to vids. Hi, Sean. Thanks for the amazing information. Do you recommend running an ad behind the low ticket course, such as the ones for $37? Yeah, that could be a good idea. But when it comes to paid advertising, it just becomes kind of a skill set of doing the math and doing, is it profitable or not? So, ad costs can go up and down at different seasons and over the years. Is there more than just the $37 course? They do say in all e-commerce, what is the LTV, lifetime value of a customer? What is the CAC? What is the cost of acquisition of a customer? So if it costs you $50 to sell a $37 course, you'd be losing $13. But if it costs you $15 per, so the ultimate thing would be yes, but that's the kind of nuance you want to develop in your skill set to succeed with paid advertising. Randy, Sean told me a year ago that the gospel is free, but what about discipleship courses? Yeah, I mean, it's a really good point, and it's a good context, because when we think about something like religion, like the gospel, it is freely you receive, freely give. And so, of course, we wouldn't preach the gospel for any charge. Paul literally says that. He's like, I preach the gospel without charge. In fact, I work to pay my own bills, even though I should be given offerings. So mostly in a nonprofit church mindset, we mostly think of like offerings. We think of, which is a model you can do for courses. There's a whole model of pay what you want. And what you'd be shocked that people will, it's like free. And if some people can't afford it, they'll buy it for free. But some people will pay $1,000 for something, and so that is a model. I think, though, the flip side is there is a difference between the gospel, even discipleship. I mean, it's kind of like discipleship should be free, but you also have to, pay. Meaning, like, can you write a book? how many books on disciple? I mean, I probably have 100 books on discipleship, and I paid $15 for them or whatever. All of that, to summarize, was just be thoughtful about what you're building. I think a discipleship course is great, but what I wanted to get across was like leadership, for example. So like, I think there's some really good paid products that are about like church growth, about how to preach better. And that kind of gets into the idea of B2B versus B2C. Like if you're educating a mastery level skill set, like of how to preach better, that's kind of a little bit different. That's, in a way, it's B2B, not to say that church is a business, although it kind of operates like one, right? Is versus B2C, like the gospel is free for everyone. But if you want to be a specialist, like you want to become a great Bible teacher, I'm going to pay all day long to become a great teacher. You know what I mean? So the mindset, even when you're B2B or let's just say your course is for professionals, course is for someone wanting to learn professional skills. And pastoring is a vocation. So does that make sense? Not saying you'd have to make a leadership or a pastoring or church growth course or something, but that whole thing is kind of interesting on itself. But if you look at Jeff Bethke's thing, that's ultimately a discipleship course. It's $40 on how to study the Bible, workshops, paid conferences, paid an online course. I mean, people have been charging at churches. They do. Financial Peace University from Dave Ramsey, $100. At churches, you buy a $40 ticket to listen to Les Parrott and his wife talk about how to fight fair in marriage. You go to marriage classes, they're paid classes. Well, now you're just taking that, you're putting it into a digital course. Different things you can think about in that arena. Which platform is the best to launch an online course? We have a resource called Think Media Tools. If you're curious about our favorite tools. And so thinkmediatools.com, and there's a lot of different video editing resources on here. I do, to this day, I would encourage you from two sides of the equation. One, the best platform to host your course is the one you actually use and get your course launched with. So, and they all could be kind of similar. So I am very familiar with Thinkific, Teachable, Kartra, ClickFunnels, High Level. It goes on and on. There's like weird stuff like Gumroad. By the way, YouTube is going to be integrating online courses because they understand how big this is for YouTube. Here's why that is cool, but I also wouldn't use it, is because YouTube charges you 30% on your channel memberships. So if you got to six figures, 1,000 true fans, you got to $100,000 a year, YouTube would take $30,000 of the thing you're adding value at a deeper level. Respect. They can do what they want, kind of like the mafia, I guess. You know, they're like, pay me. They're like, oh, I'm going to break your fingers. So weird. And so if they charge you, if you host it on like Kajabi though, and Kajabi is what we use. I mean, if there was one thing I recommend, and we've thoroughly vetted a lot of them. And the reason I love Kajabi is because it's like all the things. And once you get into the things, there's like a lot of things. So if you go to Think Media Tools, we have Kajabi, and let's see. Oh yeah, it's all the tools you need in one place, and you don't need to be tech savvy. Also, here's another reason why I like it. There's I got to meet the new CEO of Kajabi when I was speaking at VidCon last year, and I was asking about like who's the biggest. The biggest doesn't mean the best, but I was like, yeah, is ClickFunnels bigger than you guys? They're like, he was funny too. He wasn't even being like arrogant. He was just like, what are you talking about? Like, we are the leading. And so somebody could fact check me, but here's what I think about when I think about software. How many developers do they have? How are they improving it? Am I investing something that's going to grow, that's going to be competitive, that's going to continue to add new features, that's going to integrate AI, that's going to continue to be better? Because if you're building your online business, of course you could change, but it's kind of a headache to change. So I just want to like one-stop shop. Let me pick it out. So you could check that out, and we could drop a link for you as well to Kajabi. But you could even do a free trial. And if you check this out, I'm a little bit distracted here, but this would be very valuable. Create online courses, podcasts, memberships, profitable podcasts made easy. Build authority.
You ever bought Reese's while eating Reese's? That is some boss behavior.
I started All Nation Restoration to help people. Chase for Business is literally what it says in the name. It is Chase for Business, where I can find everything I need in one place so we can help people get back to life.
Podcast made easy. Build authority. Apple, Google, Spotify, upload your podcast, integrate it. They also have comparisons, Kajabi versus Circle, Kajabi versus ClickFunnels, Kajabi versus Thinkific, and you can compare and contrast. Eventually, you'll make that decision. I don't know if I would, it is part of the equation, but I think even getting clear on who is it you're going to reach and what problem do you solve and what Chalene Johnson would call your lifer is super critical. And then, of course, budgeting things out and then kind of identifying the services. One of the most valuable things I found inside of the Marketing Impact Academy was her in-depth breakdown of all of the platforms. So that's one of the things that she covers. And one of the things, I mean, whether it's MIA or not, meaning this offer that she has, and you can see all our stuff at miabonus.com or not, let me just suggest that personally, like you being here, man, you should outsource your learning and outsource your knowledge to other experts, because there's just too much. That's also why she has like 30 different teachers in there, because any one individual can't possibly know all this stuff. That's why it's like, give me paint by numbers. You know what I mean? I actually am trying to answer your question best. And as you can see, we're pretty seasoned at this point. But I like open this up and I'm like, Circle? Like, what the heck is Circle? Although I think Pat Flynn uses that. And so, and my warning for you is just don't get too into the weeds of any of this stuff. Man, it's like, like pick Kajabi and roll with it. That would be the opportunity. So, awesome. And Victoria just shared our link to Kajabi if you want to check that out. Okay. Build an online course or build an audience first? Good question, Walter. My answer is both. My answer is most people they focus too much on building an audience for too long first. And then finally, though, it really does truly depend. So, Walter, I would ask, like, for example, would it be wise for you to perhaps figure out how to be a knowledge broker? I mean, better answer, and I know she was starting questions throughout, Victoria was starting questions. I mean, learn how to market, brand, niche down, understand your audience, and be a knowledge broker first. Then be a reporter second. Then build an online course fully on your own and a results expert third. That would be a good sequence. However, many people in our community, you could be one, are results experts. So you're perhaps ready now, therefore your path and your approach would be a little bit different. an assessment and self-awareness of where are you, what are your skills, you know, do you have a current audience or whatever? And what is also fascinating is there are many people who have some of the smallest audiences who make the most money because they learn an entirely another set of skills. Direct response marketing, paid advertising, for example, is not relying on the slow and steady growth of organic. It's actually learning a whole nother set of skills and just going directly to problem solving. I'm not recommending Skillshare or Udemy. However, you can actually make a course on Udemy, which is like a public online course marketplace, and have it get discovered on its own by search. Like I discovered that ChatGPT course because I searched for. So I'm throwing a lot at you. It's a lot to think about, but it depends is honestly the answer to that question. Will MIA show you which software apps that can help you set up your online course for the best success? 100%. And this is not to stress you out, but if all MIA did for you was hold your hand, which one of the coolest things they have is an assessment. And again, what he's talking about is the MIA bonus thing where you can see more on this. But you eventually need a CRM. That's your customer relationship management. That's like your email marketing software. Is that going to also be inside of Kajabi? Are you at some point going to use some kind of a text message thing like Community or something? Which tools should you have and which tools would you overspend on? Marketing Impact Academy is not cheap. It is an investment. But when you're investing in building an actual business, it actually is incredibly affordable compared to what it would cost to go to a university or a college, 50 grand a year. It's like a fraction of that, but also compared to the startup costs of traditional businesses, but then also compared to the pain of wasting time and money on resources and tools you don't need. So 100%, it's a really good question. You know what it's called in business today, but especially in online business, is it's called a tech stack. I was doing coaching, one-on-one coaching with David Bay from American Business Heroes yesterday. Or what day is it?
Golden Oreo Cakesters. We decided to show off our soft side. Introducing the all-new Nissan Kicks with dual 12.3-inch screens.
This week. And we were talking about his tech stack, and he was already getting into, eventually Patrick Bet David, he has a tech stack for selling insurance policies. And so these days at Think Media, this is not advice for starting, but as we have team members and contractors in our tech stack is Monday.com and Slack and Kajabi, an Active Campaign, and you go, well, Sean, I'll just use the apps you're using. That would be smart. You could just copy like those. However, there's probably not a conversation I have with Chalene Johnson where I'm not like learning and being like, oh, shoot, like that's not good anymore. And like email deliverability rates and compared to other platforms. So there's just a level of, it's very helpful to also be in like a private, they have a private group where you can learn from other people that are doing this. And like iron sharpens iron. Like I'm trying to do this particular feature and someone goes, oh yeah, I had that problem. There's like Infusionsoft. If you ever heard about that, it's called Infusionsoft. A lot of people call it Confusionsoft because it's so dang hard to use. So also finding something that's gonna be easy for you and fast for you. And that's what I love about Chalene Johnson because she talks all about being ADD and having trouble focusing. So everything that she communicates is done in such a way to keep it simple, as friction-free as possible. Just tell me what to do. Just tell me the steps and let me just do it so I don't get bogged down. And maybe that would be the summary of a lot of this. Invest if you can in the shortcut of just painting by numbers with a program like Marketing Impact Academy. But no matter what you do, don't let overthinking or analysis paralysis stop you. Because it's better to have an imperfect plan executed like crazy this month than waiting for the perfect plan executed next year. Because if we wait until tomorrow, we're going to be waiting the rest of our lives. I think it was Lemony Stickett that said that. If we wait until we're ready, we're going to be waiting for the rest of our lives. Quote, Lemony Snicket. I just created a course for newbies. I already sold some copies. Hey, congratulations, Allison. How can I make YouTube videos that lead to the course without teaching the course information? Very good question. I'm noting the question to think about how, because I have so much to say, probably too much to say, and we're at an hour, 40 minutes. Allison, I would definitely create a freebie, and I'm sure you've heard of those. And I would maybe just make great videos. Let me give you like one example. Like you could do what we call trend surfing, entirely different than teaching anything in a way. You react to news related to your online course. You react to what's happening in culture. And then you're like, and by the way, if you want to learn about this, I have a free thing. And then people could opt in for it, and that leads to your course. So there's probably 26 different, actually literally, I'm trying to think about what we'd call them. We call them like leads, not leads like emails, but like video topics, almost like angles on it. And that was one of them. And so there's probably 21 different ones we use, but one of them would be like, if you had a course on how to lose weight and reset your metabolism, you do a YouTube video on a new article about health, obesity, and what's happening in America. Makes sense? And you could have like a shocking YouTube title because it's like new data reveals like Americans' health is crashing and what we need to do about it. And you're like, this is crazy. Here's some thoughts. By the way, if you didn't know, I have a 7-day, detox your body challenge. You could, does that make sense? So just doing trend surfing and teaching, yes, but tapping into culture, and then you could give a call to action to like your free thing. That'd be one way to do it. And that way of thinking, and I'm talking, we use like 21. Marketing Impact Academy is like 2,000 ways of approaching that. And that's not to exaggerate. That's to say those type of, it's to oversimplify it, that's what online marketing would be. Understanding different angles and approaches and human psychology and different ways to position your content, not just on YouTube, but what would be the best practices to do that across platforms. Shalene is an Instagram expert heavily, her and Brock blowing it up there, but she brings in guest experts. I'm inside of Marketing Impact Academy teaching on YouTube. She brings in guest experts on podcasting and video podcasting, because same thing, how could really any one person be a true expert at every single thing? That's why she built basically a university. It's like Marketing Impact University, really.
Get a gig that's built to last. Perfect. Now work. You're perfect.
All around the you're perfect. Now work it. You're perfect. All around the world.
With multiple different teachers that cover just the thing you need, because it would also be a mistake for us to try to be great at all social media platforms just when we're starting. All right. That was still a long answer, but I'm really grateful. If you're getting value, hit like. I'll answer a couple more questions at the hour and 42-minute mark. Take a sip of the coffee. Any aha moments so far? What are you up to? Keep. Yeah, by the way, there's some great content I'm seeing from y'all in the comments. Y'all are sharing the different things you're using. Coffee is cold now. Victoria in the private chat is, yeah, it's cold, but it's good. My coffee changes flavor. When you have good single origin coffee, this was from Costa Rica, the flavor profile actually changes. I don't love great coffee, AeroPress, Burr Grinder, made it right before I came up here, didn't really drink it because we got into the live stream. When it's hot, it's not even the best flavor. There's different, when it's kind of almost like too hot to drink, you lose the flavor. When it's lukewarm, warm, delicious, lukewarm, but even cold, sounds weird, but it actually is like, there's a whole nother dimension to the notes. Kind of have the, kind of a strawberry there, kind of a lime tartness that sort of meets the maybe melon. It's delicious. I always drink my coffee cold. My friend, we are one. All right, couple land in the plane. And by the way, in just all full transparency too with you, this whole MIA bonus thing, there's only a couple more days left on it. We talked about it a few days ago in that free class, which you can also watch if you want at ideatoincome.tips. But it is truly limited because Shalene does have kind of like an onboarding process, and then you kind of get into everything, and then as all the materials roll out. So if you're on the fence, check it out at miabonus.com. If you have more questions, whatever, definitely take action on that. Even if you are able to open a second window or something while you're watching this, and you have any questions about what you see there, let me know, and I would love to answer some of those. Victoria, does anybody else taste just coffee? Yeah, probably if it's Keurig. Yeah, probably if it's Folgers. Yeah, probably if it's it might be clear enough that I'm a coffee snob. Like maybe that's been revealed to you already. Victoria, what kind of coffee do you drink? Victoria is part of our think team here. And I will tell you this though. I try to be kind and empathetic in social situations, but when I'm over at like someone's house or whatever, and they like offer me coffee, I kind of am like, what is it? Like, how will it be made? And I could have had no sleep. My kids kept me up all night long. Like, I feel awful. I really want coffee. And they're like, yeah, I made some coffee. Do you want a cup? And I'll be like, oh yeah. What is it? Oh, it's Keurig's Starbucks Pike Place blend. No, thanks. I'd rather die. And I walk out into the street and hope to end my. That was morbid. Okay, so anyways, we're creating some. French press is fire. I agree with that. Yes, the taste is much better. You roast your own beans. This is Brazilian coffee. Yes, come on, let's go. We got some people. I drink whatever organic coffee. Organic is kind of important, but that distinction is not one of the key distinctions here. Let me break down. I'll post the affiliate links in the description of my favorite coffee places. Pick the time codes if you want to skip past this and you're watching this on the replay. Because sorry to waste your time here, but now this is where we're going, and this has been my decision. Okay, so you got Onyx Coffee Lab. By the way, I was joking about affiliates, but I wonder if they have an affiliate program. They don't. Maybe they do. Victoria, can you see if they do? I'm just curious, and then we could link it up. This place is amazing. My two favorite regions are going to be Ethiopia and Colombia. So, I got to close this. I'll give you three. Colombia. So, you got a little floral, honey, chocolate malt. Always whole beans. That'd be another thing. If someone's like, if I'm not hearing the beans grind before they make the coffee, like, no, thank you. So it's not bad. $21 for 10 ounces. It's kind of small, but $21. So let's see, onyxcoffeelab.com. Another good one here in Vegas would be Vesta Coffee Roasters. They ship as well. So Vesta is absolute fire. I think I'm sipping on this Ethiopia is great. This Kayam Mountain is really good. And it's kind of shocking how many bags of coffee I have downstairs right now. One of my favorites is Black and White Coffee Roasters. Whenever I go to town, I look for like hipster spots.
Never hide your Reese's eggs in a basket. I mean, come on. It's the first place they'll look.
My skin, she gets thirsty. So when I shave, it's the new Venus Moisture Glide. It's got 5 blades and bars with a touch of argan oil that lock in moisture. Feel the power of smooth. My skin, my way. Venus.
And I will follow up online. Ooh, Black Label's out. See, I have too much coffee downstairs right now, but I'm about to make some online purchases after this. Let's see how much these are. $75 for the Black Label competition set here. And only 100 grams of each for $75. Victoria, is this what you're drinking? So black and white is really good. And the future, pretty good. I bought 4 bags of that and was giving them out to Kyle and Omar and Mel. I think I gave one to Brock Johnson when he was on the podcast. And we lost everybody watching. Okay. Poop coffees. Have I ever tried the poop coffee? I haven't. I've heard of it, but I absolutely would. I wouldn't even hesitate. And that would be great. I'm down. What was it that there was something I was drinking recently that my wife was like, you are disgusting and I'm never kissing you again. And I was like, that sucks. Final questions. We're going to end before 2 hours. What funnel do you recommend to get started? No time. We have time, but too deep of a question. But stick with us. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Definitely check out MIA Bonus. You learn all that stuff there. How do you improve your value proposition to your channel subscribers? It's a good question. I think you should study them. Depending on who's there, ask them questions. But a lot of people underestimate the time they should take getting to know or clarifying who exactly it is that they want to reach. And then once you, like, a kind of a simple way to put it is sort of like Love Languages by Gary Chapman, the book, and the movement. You know, how do you add more value to your spouse if you don't understand what would add value to your spouse? So, and if you do understand, so I could go pitch my wife and be like, hey, babe, do you want to order pho, P-H-O, right? And bring it home to the house and watch StarCraft 2 gameplay videos all afternoon? And then bing bong, bing bong? Hint. Bring up the channel just so you can see my favorite YouTube channel right now. This is not it. Winter StarCraft. Mel was shocked. It'll show you my watch time on this channel. You can see these red lines of like how much of these episodes I'm watching. So that's 46 minutes. This was 49 minutes. This is someone else playing StarCraft 2, which is a 13-year-old game. Here's the point. I hope it makes a good point. How do you add a better value proposition? So if I go, honey, want to get pho, which she hates, watch StarCraft 2, which she thinks is stupid, and then bing bong, which does not happen if I make mistake number 1 and number 2, then my value proposition wasn't very good for her, right? But if I was like, hey, babe, want to go antique shopping? Go someplace cool with really delicious burgers and fries? And then I'll give you a back rub, no expectations. Wow, it's a better value proposition. I was able to get her attention. I was able to close the sale because even perhaps the no expectations, but the better sequencing led to better results. You put the viewer first, you put the person first, you put your spouse first, and you seek to understand and discover and be aware of the nuances. Might we argue that, of course, in a relationship, there should be give and take. Let's do what you want to do. Let's do what you want to do. But I would also argue that it would be a selfish, it can be selfish sometimes, list of daily activities if I was to suggest my activities for the day. Here we are. Is that helpful? Yes, you got to talk their language and see what they want. Yes, amazing. Very good. Okay. Where would you recommend starting to learn about how to set up and run an email list? I mean, Chris, just start studying it or take the fast track and go to miabonus.com and follow the next steps. I mean, join Marketing Impact Academy. That is what I learned, where I learned, even in some of it goes very deep, even in terms of like setting it up, what to say, what to write, what to do in automated email sequences. And this stuff, Chris, is also lifelong learning. And that's why I think I mentioned a little bit earlier that, like, even when I interview or connect with somebody, we're like continuously talking about it, because it's just, the world's always changing, the market's shifting, technology is changing. So being committed to a program like that does have lifetime access is an investment in a resource that becomes like your marketing, branding, and online business assistant for the rest of your life, like for the years of building it up. So if you can afford it and you're committed, I would recommend going that direction. Otherwise, just take the subject matter and just study it deeply and practice. I know business. I would like to broker. How do I approach them? As far as I know, they don't have affiliates. Shoot them an email. Shoot them a tweet, stir up a conversation, see what's kind of happening. You'd be surprised the doors that could open. How do you estimate that you have 1,000 true fans based on your YouTube studio? People always see your videos, recent viewers. I think where this really starts is you need to create a way to build a text message list, build an email list, build a Discord group, build a Facebook page, Facebook group, and it's people that care to go to that deeper level. Build a channel memberships, air quotes. I don't love channel memberships. I respect it though. We just did an interview with Mary's Nest. She's going all in on channel memberships. Why? Because of simplicity. And it's just her and her husband. She doesn't really want to grow a team. She's 65 and she's okay with YouTube taking 30%. I'm going to work a little bit harder and figure out how to not use channel memberships so that I can save the 30%. But it would be that person that wants to go to that deeper level. And I would recommend check out Kevin Kelly's article on 1,000 True Fans. All right, we're at an hour and 54 minutes. And so I'm super grateful that you were hanging out today. If you have any more aha moments, drop them in the comments. And if you made it this far and you haven't checked out miabonus.com, just as a heads up, there is limited time remaining. This will be like a wait list page or something if you're watching the replay when this is all over. We have $3,288 of extra resources that we've included in this. If you've been a part of our stuff for any length of time, inside of Marketing Impact Academy, it's branded business foundations, freemiums, email marketing, product creation, social media, sales and testimonials, video and live streaming, content creation, your online business blueprint. It's very deep, and you can see all those details. But at miabonus.com, we've included our full-time YouTube creator course, our YouTube Shorts Masterclass, our Video Success Secrets event, which is 3 days, including an entire business day. Shalene Johnson spoke there as well. Our Personal Branding Masterclass, which is just additional bonuses that we're offering because, of course, we fully believe in the program. It is a program that changed my life. Inside of just these live recordings, like there were sessions that were so impactful. I mean, there's Lewis Howes and Pat Flynn and Brennan Burchard and Amy Porterfield, a lot of people in here. But like, I just remember learning in some of those, like Shalene on a whiteboard talking about email marketing for 45 minutes and us going from like $10,000 a month to $20,000 a month. It's wild as things grow and scale about thinking about, we say small tweaks lead to giant peaks. So anyways, you can see all the details about this at miabonus.com. Just for a limited time that is available. It's not any kind of false scarcity or anything weird. It's just truly how she runs her program. And while she's doing this promotion, we are, offering these bonuses, extra bonuses as well. And link in the description as well. Trend surfing. Yeah, Susan, appreciate it. That's a good one. MIA is the racetrack route for sure. For sure. Your driver, Mike, appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Always good to see you. Really appreciate you, How To Viz. I'm really grateful for the super chat. And you can see Victoria, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube, you can see miabonus.com. And she has posted a link there if you want to click that or just type the URL into your browser. My name is Sean Cannell, rhymes with YouTube channel. This is the Think Media podcast. And if you want to check out the video I did with Shalene Johnson, that you can just watch on here as well, you can click or tap the screen to check that out. I believe you'll find that valuable, and I will see you.
McCormick knows unbeatable flavor. So we created Flavor Sealed, so spices are as fresh and flavorful as the day they were packed.
letting you make meals that'll have everyone licking their chops. McCormick, flavors fueled for unbeatable flavor.
Introducing the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks.
You may have noticed that the YouTube algorithm is changing. A lot of creators are reporting that their channel growth has slowed down and that they are struggling to get views. Meanwhile, other creators are growing like crazy. And there's a reason for that. It's because they understand the 10 ranking factors that matter most for the YouTube algorithm this year. And in today's episode of the Think Media podcast, we're going to be covering all 10 of those factors so that you can use them to your advantage. You know, personally, I've been doing YouTube a long time. I've grown 4 channels, 3 that have gotten a silver play button, 1 that has a gold play button. And so I've seen a lot of the changes over the years to trends on YouTube, to what's happening with the algorithm. And there's some need to know information that we're going to be covering in this episode as we get into these 10 factors. But before we get there, let's talk about the 2 primary ways to get views on YouTube. There is search-based traffic, and there is algorithm-based traffic. And traffic is another word for views. Where do the views come from? Search-based is solving specific problems that people are actively seeking answers for. They are either typing a specific question into the YouTube search bar or a specific topic, or they are showing YouTube they're interested in a particular topic by just clicking on and watching those types of videos. If you get into a hobby, like maybe you're looking for show recaps of your favorite TV show, you're watching Silo or Severance on Apple TV, you start watching a few show recaps and maybe theories and predictions. Well, what happens with the YouTube algorithm? It starts recommending you more videos based off the intent that you have expressed by the search terms you've been typing in and by your viewing behavior. Now, algorithm-based traffic is triggering curiosity and recommendations through compelling promises. So in this case, you might find that YouTube recommends you something that you actually weren't actively searching for, but it triggers your curiosity. It stops the scroll. It gets you to click. There's a compelling promise of education or entertainment or something interesting. And so the reason these 10 ranking factors are so important is because understanding them and adapting your content to them is going to help you benefit from getting views from both sources. Search-based traffic, your videos will rank better, and algorithm-based traffic, you'll be able to go viral, even if that just means viral for you. Normally you get 100 views, you might get 1,000 or 10,000 using the strategies that we're going to dive into right now. So here's the updated YouTube ranking algorithm, the 10 factors that actually matter on YouTube right now. Number 1, viewer satisfaction. YouTube increasingly focuses on how satisfied viewers are with a video, measured through direct feedback like user surveys. Now, if you watch the YouTube version of the Think Media podcast, let me know in the comments, have you ever seen one of these surveys? I have, maybe less than 10 times in my life, but I've certainly got them. And after I watch a video, even if I've watched the entire video, giving viewer signals like, I probably liked it, what YouTube is looking for with these surveys is, do you feel like you wasted your time? Now that you watched that entire video, was it a good and satisfying experience, or were you actually disappointed? This is actually a big shift, because this shift emphasizes content quality and relevance over just click-through rate and watch time. Basically, YouTube doesn't want people to be tricked. You trick people with a title and a thumbnail, and then you continue to bait them along, holding their attention, getting their watch time minutes, only for them to be disappointed at the end. So they are trying to continually tweak the algorithm for viewer satisfaction. And for each of these 10 tips, I'm going to give you an action item. So here is the action item for number 1. Focus on adding genuine value with clear takeaways and ensure viewers feel never tricked or misled. Make sure your content delivers what was promised so viewers don't feel like their time was wasted or that they were manipulated in any way. The second biggest ranking factor for the YouTube algorithm is watch time, aka audience retention. The total time viewers spend watching a video remains a critical factor. Videos that keep viewers engaged longer signal value to YouTube, boosting their ranking in search and recommendations. The important term to know here is time on platform. YouTube wants you to spend as much time on YouTube as possible. Therefore, the longer time you spend on the platform and the longer time an individual spends watching your video, the better. So an action item here is to present information in an organized and structured way while trimming unnecessary fluff. Be strategic about recognizing when parts of your video might get boring and use illustrations and stories to re-engage viewers at those points. And if you can, balance information with storytelling. If you are editing, use visual examples and think about how you can improve your delivery through video editing and other techniques to maintain interest. And by the way, one of the things that we talk about at Think Media is what's called the perfect video recipe. I go into it more in my book, YouTube Secrets, which we are actually giving away free. All I ask is that you pay shipping. And so if you want to check that out and have me mail you a free copy of the updated edition of the best-selling book, YouTube Secrets, you can go to ytsecrets.com or just click the link in the show notes. If you just cover shipping, I will mail you this book. One of the chapters is called the perfect video recipe. And if you grab this special offer, I'll also immediately send you a free video series and downloadable guide on the perfect video recipe. Just go to ytsecrets.com. I'll send it to you for free. You just cover shipping, and you can check out a link in the show notes if you want to take advantage of that. The big idea is, remember that longer retention directly correlates with better rankings. So focus on keeping viewers engaged throughout the entire video. Number 3, engagement signals like likes, comments, and shares. So user interactions like likes and comments, dislikes, and shares are heavily weighted. These actions indicate that viewers find the content compelling, enjoyable, or worth discussing, and it influences the video's visibility. The video will spread in the algorithm. The video will rank in search if you can get those engagements